Everybody claims that they got a cheat code. Everybody claims that they found some mystical, magical shortcut to getting where you really want to be. That's what everybody keeps claiming here. And every time you turn around, you find out it's wrong. People, come on. No such thing as a free lunch. And recognize the difference between when people actually have something versus when they're trying to sell something. Here's the crazy part. A lot of people are out here trying to sell something to themselves. And I want to talk to the fellas here tonight. A lot of the guys are unhappy because in the last few weeks we've been focusing on the men. But fellas, we got to go ahead and lay it down just like it is here. For the longest time, a group of really shameless, quite frankly, guys online have been trying to sell the idea that everybody else is struggling and everybody else doesn't have it figured out and they got it figured out and that they found some mystical, magical enclave on the other side of the world where the women are much more sophisticated and much more submissive and, all your heart's desires. But just great big huge clumps of them, boy. You can just walk through and just scoop them up by the truckload. And they promise you one thing above all others. That these women are different. What? They are promising you that these women are different. They're promising you that the real issue is you ain't knew where to look and you don't have access to what they have access to and you just don't really know where to find these super secret enclaves of these females who have all the characteristics that you can't find it in America. That's the problem. You gotta outsource. You gotta grab your passport. You gotta look further. And there are places that are untouched, uncontaminated, uncorrupted by the mongrel ways of the West. These fellas have found it. The only issue comes in when you actually go ahead and take a peek under the hood and start asking a few questions. Then you find out anybody saying that they're more traditional, they don't know what they're talking about, they're lying too. Their job is to convince you that they've got some knowledge that you don't have. That's what they come to the internet. That's what the internet has become. It's become a place for people to try to pass off in comment sections that they have more knowledge than they actually do. That they've got it somehow figured out. No, they bring absolutely no evidence whatsoever. You let me do what really. Women are women around the world. Women are the same around the world. Female nature is the same around the world. Its execution might have nuances. But anybody silly enough to say that women are different are showing that, you're just trying to sell something. Okay. You're trying to convince people you got something figured out. And by the way, no offense, the military guys who try to pull that game are the lamest and the worst. They are the worst. They're always trying to convince, as if everybody else has not traveled to, they're always trying to convince everybody that they got some inside insight that everybody else is just lacking. And it's the same damn thing. Then you go off and you try and you find out, hey, this clown ass nigga was lying the whole time. Or they got a bunch of phone numbers of prostitutes. Damn! But as far as back in the real world, what you find out is there is no safe haven. There is no safe enclave. This is something that clowns put up on memes online to folks that they hope haven't seen anything. It's not real. It's not real. I don't care whether it is Asia, the Middle East, down under, Africa, or anywhere else. Take a look at how quickly and readily females from around the world have immediately glummed on to shaking their butt cheeks anywhere you go. Take a look at how easily and readily in every country in the world, if she got a set of ovaries, she knows big breasts and a big rear end open the keys to the kingdom wherever she is. That's not a Western thing. That's a female thing. Anywhere you go. The fact that you have burqas and hijabs on the other side of the world are truly a testament to how much the men know they don't trust those women. That's a testament to the fact that it's not the men they don't trust, it's the women they don't trust. If she starts exercising power, she gonna do what women do. She is going to do what women do. Males have this fantasy in their heads that somehow you can prevent this, safeguard this. Folks, you got places where they have laws about that. Doesn't change anything. Just as soon as she gets away from those structural confines, she acts just like the women next door to you. Hell, as a matter of fact, she get out there and start throwing it more. While some clown guy has tried to convince you that that's not really what it is, and that's not really what it's about. All right, so over the course of the last decade, you've had a bunch of these shysters try to tell you here. Asian women are different. Asian women only speak a different language. They're no different. They're no different. They're no different. Folks have been trying to tell you for the longest time that that's exactly what it is. Oh, they'll be different. Yeah, they'll be different in how they execute on you. They will be no different in how the hammer drops on you. Every time we turn around, there's some male out there trying to convince the rest of us that Asian women are different. Well, here we are 2 decades later. How'd that work out for them? How'd that work out for them? Somebody take a look at Jeezy. I mean, raised in the hood and every damn thing else. Boy, he thought he was going to do it big. And I don't mean to kick a man while he's down, but hey, I got to say it like it is. He thought he was going to show the rest of us. Don't worry. See, the real issue is black culture. Don't you understand? That's the real issue. And so for those of us who can get away from that there, we gonna show you something. We found the super secret recipe and the super secret formula. That heifer he's married to ain't pulling no punches. She ain't pulling no punches. I mean, she walked right into court and said, man, that's what it is. She walked right up into court and said, no, that prenup, I want the prenup thrown out. I want access to his money. I want the prenup thrown out. I want primary custody. I want to be running things. What happened to submissive Asian female? What happened to that? What happened to that? What happened to you gonna be the man of the house and this, that, and the other? What happened to that? What happened to traditional values? I think we see the tradition she talking about. Looks like the same as the Western tradition. What happened to being submissive? Somebody was claiming that. Folks were telling you that. Folks were saying that. None of those folks are coming back and giving you a refund for all of their stupid, erroneous, lying, bad advice. None of them are coming back and saying that. Here's the issue I want you to understand. If somebody is going to tell you that the grass is greener on the other side, if somebody is going to tell you that they found a cheat code, if somebody's going to tell you that they found a shortcut, they should be required to prove that. You got YouTube channels right now. As a matter of fact, you all can go and take a look at that up. You got YouTube channels right now. All these fellas out here, mostly white dudes, but a fair number of black ones trying to sneak in and cosplay as one of the white guys. I mean, it is what it is. And then they talking about the Philippines. Remember that? Talking about the Philippines. Remember that? Everybody was trying to sit up here and flex about the Philippines for a while. Remember that? Now the white dudes are coming up in droves talking about, yeah, the Philippines, yeah, it ain't really like that. It's not really like that. No, those women over there are looking to get upgraded. They're looking to get upgraded too. In the chat room, Ghost Beard, why don't you be quiet until the phone lines open? Because you're just going to sit there and lie all night. So do us a favor. When I open up the phone lines, then you'll be allowed to call in. Right now, you're lying in the chat room, and just to cut down on disinformation and misinformation and con artistry and lying, what your job now is to not comment anymore. When the phone lines open, then you'll be allowed to comment. But in the meantime, when a fella sits there and he keeps rapid firing all those objections and lying, it's like, yeah, it's one of them. Somebody's 300-pound ex-military uncle is, well, I'm back in Suriname. Okay. I've been to every hoe house in Southern Asia. Remember, every time they talk to me, it gets decapitated in about 2 questions. Okay. If these folks are going to tell you those kind of things, they should be required to stand by it. But they don't. Because the internet is a place where failed individuals, failed males with no status, no accomplishments, they go around looking for young dudes. Now, I want you to understand, guys like Ghost Beard and these other folks here, they're trying to find some young fellas to be an audience. They're fighting for that. Can we get somebody here to sit up here and look up to me despite the complete and utter lack of accomplishment? Let me spin these tall Paul Bunyan tales of things that never happened and were never done. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm somewhere where I can't validate any of this. So they started picking these little hot spots. They started picking Brazil. They started picking Colombia, one of the most dangerous places on the planet. In Mexico, one of the most ruthless, the kidnapping capital of the world. And they're sitting here telling you that the females raised in the kidnapping, drug dealing capital of the world are, quote, more traditional and better than the women where you come from, where they ain't kidnapping everybody. They're telling you the females raised in an environment run by drug dealers and kidnappers, that's where you get traditional women. That's where you get subservient women. That's where you get easy to deal with women where they can kidnap everybody and drug dealing. Of course. Of course. In the chat room, my name is my name. You know what? I think that's a very interesting statement that you made. You know what? Usually I have a bit of a monologue here. But if you all want me to go ahead and open up the phone lines now, if you all want me to go ahead and open up the phone lines now, I'll go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and open up the phone lines now. And my name is my name, and Brood Ghost, we'll go ahead and have them call up. If you all think we should open up the telephone lines now, give me the telephone emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me It's 1,400 people in here live in just the first 14 minutes. But if you all want me to go ahead and open up the telephone lines now, go ahead and give me the telephone emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. And we'll go ahead and give them an opportunity to go ahead and speak on this. They can go ahead and speak on this. They can go ahead and talk on this, and they can answer our questions. Since they think that's a smart thing there, okay, let's go ahead and just get that on out of the way so they can go ahead and educate us all on what exactly it is that we are missing or what exactly it is that we don't understand. By the way, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the program all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. This is the one. Although if people don't like the program tonight either, I'll go ahead and chop it off quicker. Just depends. I only want to talk about it here. If folks are interested in it, we'll go ahead and talk about it. And if they're not, hey, we'll go ahead and wrap it up quick. In the meantime, let me go ahead and also get together for Zoom. Remember, Zoom, we do give priority on Zoom. The only thing that we ask, make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on if you want to use Zoom. But we do give priority on Zoom, so you are welcome to use that if you want to. So for both of our itinerant commenters in there, among others, they've now got the opportunity to go ahead and call in. By the way, to my mods, we are only going to give them 2 minutes to get on the phone line. If they are not on the phone line in the next 2 minutes, permanent vacation. You are perfectly fine to have opposing thoughts or opinions. You can do that. But you will not sit in the chat room and hide out and say them. If you're going to say them, then folks need to hear from you. And they can hear it exactly. And I mean, if you sound like Forrest Gump trying to tell folks, I know what happened on your side. It's like, okay. Yeah, this handyman dude is going to teach us something. Although, who knows? We've had a couple of folks who claimed to have little PhDs or whatever. You know what? That's perfectly fine as well, because we'll see what that sounds like. You have to understand that in this day and age, folks have gotten accustomed to selling lies to people. They've gotten accustomed to trying to steal respect and steal credibility. And it becomes a real bad thing when they do that there, because what they're hoping is to get status, even if it's just a little old pitiful Reddit thread, even if it's just that, they're hoping they can steal some status from somewhere. Who cares if they're lying? Who cares if they're full of garbage? Who cares if everything they're saying is a bunch of crap? Don't worry about that. Go ahead and say it anyway. And as men, we cannot and we will not respect such a thing. We're not going to respect such a thing, because that's the problem when you bring failed old men into the circuit. Failed old men, they're as bad as failed old females. Hell, actually, they're worse. Because failed old females don't really have a bunch of stand-up to them. But when you say that to other men, that's risking their lives and their safety. That's what misinformation and bad information does to other males. They go off and try to live that, and the next thing you know, they get kidnapped and killed. We covered that earlier this year. Let me go ahead and get over here to the telephone lines. Let me get caller from area code 347. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, you got Face Facts checking in from Brooklyn.
Okay, Face Facts. What's on your mind?
Yeah, listen, I'm not a passport bro, but I understand what they're saying, right? The whole thing with the passport movement was for them to get away from, it's not necessarily the women, but it's the system. The system in this country is extremely lopsided when it comes to stealing, children and money and property from men, especially in divorce. So the whole thing with the passport movement was for them to go away, not only get away from the women here, but also the system. Now, with the whole Fresh situation, he was dealing with an Asian woman, but she's an Asian woman in America, so she might as well be an Asian woman. I mean, an American woman. So that argument falls apart about them being submissive. So I think that was really the thing with the passport rule. They were just trying to get away from the system, the same system that you always talk about with white supremacy. Because,
well, everyone,
again, in America,
understand, Jason, let him talk. Let him talk. I let him talk. Just keep that in mind. I didn't put these words in his mouth. He's saying this on his own, not me. Go ahead, sir.
Right. No, I know what I'm saying, but that's the thing is, right, you can't say that only non-FBA women are putting men on child support. There's plenty of FBA women that are using the same system.
I didn't say a word. I did not say a word about child support. So once again, you're saying things all on your own. So if you have to start making up things to make an argument, that's your first sign that your argument's already defeated. When did I say a word about child support, sir?
No, I didn't say that you said anything about that.
You literally just said you were talking about child. You literally just, I'm repeating your words, sir. I'm repeating your words. You literally just said me talking about child support. That's literally what you just said.
No, that's not what I said. What I said was,
I'm repeating his words. That's not what I said, though. I'm repeating his words, but that's not what he said. All right, fella, go ahead.
Right. I mean, you're good for that. I appreciate the gaslighting, but all I'm saying is
repeating his words is gaslighting. I'm twisting his words by repeating them. All right.
Right. The technicality of them wanting to get away from the type of system that's in place here is the reason why the passport movement was what it was. So I'm asking you a question now. I'm saying, so you saying that this is only non-FBA women that are doing this, because that was the whole purpose of the passport movement, to get away from the system that's in place here.
Okay, I didn't say anything about getting away from a system. I didn't say anything about FBA women. I've only been talking about Western women. Sir, I'm answering your question. You asked once again, by the way, the ADHD kids, now he'll say that he didn't say FBA women. That's what he's going to say next. I'm repeating his words about FBA women. He's now going to say, I didn't say FBA women. Ain't that right?
No, that's not what I was going to say.
You just said FBA women. And I said, I didn't say anything about FBA women. So now he's going to probably say, oh, I didn't say FBA women. Yeah, you did. I didn't say a word about FBA women. I've been talking about the passport bros and other folks. Should I say not just passport bros, because I haven't really said anything about that just yet. But I'm going to get to it here in just a moment. I'm talking about anybody who tries to claim that women around the world are different. No, they're not. That's a lie made up by dishonest internet meme artists. It is not an actual reality. Now, let's deal with the false things that you just said. Now, everyone, Jason, let him talk. You be making him look stupid when you cut him off. Okay, I'll let him talk. He looks just as stupid. He said they're trying to get away from the system here. Here's the problem. The only part of the system he named here was marriage and child support. That one doesn't matter because these guys who are going overseas, for the most part, are not getting married and not having children. So they're not they weren't encountering, quote, the system over here, and they're not encountering the system over there under those circumstances. They are living as single bachelors. So it's not like they're giving themselves an opportunity for that to occur. If they had lived by those rules over here, they would have the exact same outcome. 2 + 2 still equals 4, sir. Troublesome, frustrating to you, I know, but it's still 2 + 2. They're not doing anything over there that if they had done it over here, they wouldn't have the exact same results. The only thing that mops you up the system, if you marry a chick or get her pregnant, because they got alimony and child support over there too. Or are you about to tell us that they don't?
No, I'm not saying that they don't.
Oh, okay. Okay. So if they did the same thing over there that you're complaining about over here, then the outcome would be the same. So the system is the same everywhere.
No, it's not.
Do you all hear what he just said? Y'all hear that? Now, he literally just confirmed it before I asked it. Now he's saying, he literally just confirmed for you that, by the way, if you get them pregnant, get them married, you're in the trap. And then he just sat here and confirmed, oh, no, it's different. This is what it means to listen to these guys. If you let them talk in one of their videos and make up their lies, they'll just run on for hours saying they're garbage. As soon as you confront them about it, they start talking and contradicting themselves in the very same sentences. He just said what they'll do to you. Now he's saying, no, but it's different. Tell me how alimony and child support is different from outside America, sir. Tell me.
Okay, well, for starters, it depends on which country. Not all of the countries have them. Some of them do and some of them don't.
Okay, tell us the ones that, quote, don't. And please, and before you get to lying even bigger than you've already done, please understand that everybody here's got Google.
Right. Okay. There's some countries that don't have it, and then
he's repeating himself. He's repeating himself. Yeah, folks, I'm showing you how to shut these slow bus kids down, sir. Name them, and remember, everybody here's got Google. Name them.
All right. Well, Thailand doesn't have it.
Thailand doesn't have what, sir?
Thailand doesn't have the same type of child support system that they have in America.
Sir, tell me a country that you said some of them do and some of them don't. Tell me a place that doesn't have child support, sir.
I believe Thailand doesn't have it.
Lie. Do you all see what the hell you'll run into? Do you all see what the hell you'll run into? Do you all get that? Folks, you can literally go Google Thailand child support right now. Now, this guy sat here, as I always said, this is the problem with the internet. A bunch of dudes, their brains are fried on marijuana and a bunch of lean and a bunch of other chemicals. They sit there in front of their cell phones until they get myopia. Look it up. They sit there in front of their cell phones until they get into astigmatism. Look it up again. They sit there in front of their cell phones, furiously swiping away on TikTok and Instagram, rubbing on themselves, looking at females, and meanwhile can't be bothered to go to Google for a damn thing. Now, he named Thailand, not me. He named it, not me. And I even gave, just like everything else, this guy's lying through everything. I even told him, by the way, hey fella, remember before you say this answer, remember we got Google. And he did it anyway. He didn't just say, yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and at least maintain some credibility. He went for it anyway. So why is he saying all this garbage that he got disproven and made an ass of in real time? Why did he go for it? Because he's used to talking to other unknowledgeable, brainless young fellas, and they all sit there and swap bull crap stories with each other. With nobody even bothering to go to Google, we live in a day and age where ignorance is a choice, not a condition. Google was created in order to amass the combined knowledge of mankind into one central place where it's easily at your fingertips. It's easily at his, and he didn't even bother to look at that up before he said it. He didn't even bother, even with me warning him in advance. You know we're going to go to Google, right? Yeah. I think Thailand good. Now imagine a bunch of 16, 17-year-old boys, 18, 19, 20-year-old fellas listening to him. They would just assume, surely he wouldn't say something so stupid and ridiculous that could be disproven within 3 seconds. Surely he wouldn't say that. Surely he would. And he's in New York. You want to know why women in New York are frustrated? Because this is the kind of guy sitting on the subway, nodding with his AirPods on. This is the kind of guy sitting there. This is the kind of fella trying to tell you about the system here, and he's completely ignorant about systems, period. Go ahead and tell us some more, sir. Would you care to take a swipe for another country?
No. That's fine. It's perfectly fine. But since you're triggered,
okay, number two, sir. Name us a place that doesn't have child support, sir. Go.
Denmark.
Y'all, yep. Here's the real thing that I want you to understand. Fellas like this here think they're slick. They think they're cool about that. That's what they think. That's what they want to believe.
So am I right or wrong then?
No, sir, you're wrong.
Am I right or wrong then?
No, sir, you're wrong.
So Denmark has it?
Folks, Google Denmark child support. What do you do for a living, young man?
Does that matter?
Yes, it sounds like you're getting ready to start up your Uber. What do you do for a living, young man?
Yeah, Yeah, I'd rather not disclose.
Yeah,
but
there
I
you,
don't
there
drive
you.
either.
Other than daydreaming and fantasizing, what do you do for a living?
I work for the city. I'll put it that way.
There you go. How many kids do you have?
Just one.
There you go. And how old are you?
I'm 38.
Auntie, chill.
Yeah, there you go. Have you ever been married, sir?
Nope.
Okay, then how are you an expert to even have an opinion about how women overseas, the situation overseas is different than in America? How do you even have an opinion on it?
Well, I have an opinion on it because, again, my child was kidnapped, and then I had to do research on countries that had extradition laws to get her the force to be brought back to the country. That's how I did all this research and find out about countries that had child support laws and countries that didn't have it.
Okay, what does child support laws have to do with extradition, sir?
Well, it has a lot to do with it. And the large problem with the women in this country is they hold children for ransom, knowing that the courts are biased in their favor.
Okay, second try here, folks. This is what happens when your brain's fried. Second try. What does child support have to do with extradition laws, sir? Apparently, you don't know what those words mean. What does it have to do with each other?
I do know. Okay, extradition means if they take the kid out the country, it means they can be forced to bring them back.
Okay, that's not
Now,
actually what extradition means, sir. But boy, I'm telling you, folks, the slow bus is just puttering to a halt. Sir, what does child support have to do with extradition?
Child support has to do with extradition because they can't kidnap a child and collect child support from some of these countries. So if they have a child support order in the state, if they take them to a country that doesn't have extradition, it voids the order. If they take them to a country that has extradition, then they have to be forced to bring them back.
Okay. Well, first of all, extradition works on one person. If you have a child involved, you'd have to have a court order. So that's not really extradition where the child would be concerned. Extradition would be if somebody's committed a criminal offense, they've been found guilty, and we want them extradited, or they're under indictment and we want them brought back to a certain place. Other than that, you don't need extradition necessarily if you can get the country in question to agree to send the person. So extradition treaties are certainly helpful for reciprocity, but they're not actually absolute nor always necessary, for those of you who didn't know. Now, who was it exactly who needed to be extradited in your case?
It was my child.
Your child needed to be extradited.
Right, because the mother took her out of the country and was holding her there.
Okay, so
and simultaneously wanted to file for child support while she had the child out of the country. So they told her that she couldn't file for child support until she brought the child back to the States.
Well, yes, that's true. I mean, she's not really going to be able to do that on the other side of the world. So yes, she would have to do that from here. And where did she go with the child that she felt so safe?
She went to Grenada with the child.
She went to Grenada with the child.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And why does she feel so safe doing that?
Because that's where she's from.
Okay. You thought that was a great idea.
Well, listen, at the time I didn't know. But again, the original question that I asked you was, it's not like only non-FBA women do this, which was the point that I was trying to make. We do have a system because there are plenty of women that are from here that are FBA that have child support orders. So again, I'm not condoning the passport bro saying that that's the absolute way to go. But the logic for them wanting to do it was to get away from this system. Because in this system, it doesn't matter where the woman's from. If she has access to the Western world and the Western laws, she will put
Oh yeah, one more thing, sir. You just said that Grenada did not have extradition with the U.S.
Yeah, it's not part of the Hague Convention.
Didn't ask about the Hague.
Didn't
ask about the Hague, sir. You just said that Grenada does not have an extradition treaty with the U.S.
For children.
Okay. Sir, if she's guilty of kidnapping, what is that?
It's a crime. But for good, if it's kidnapping, it's a crime. Correct.
Uh-huh. Go on, sir.
Right. What I'm saying to you is, you can't sit here and pretend that the laws in this country are not biased against men as far as child custody and stuff is concerned.
Okay,
that
sir.
Was the whole point of the
tell me where the laws are in men's quote favor in a manner in which you would approve of.
You said what? A country?
Yes. Tell me where the laws would be in the favor in a manner in which you would approve of.
Well, I'm only talking about as far as children are concerned. Like, I don't, like, the laws are laws wherever they are. Like, you know, if you don't break laws, then you're fine. But I'm just talking about as far as children are concerned. Like I was saying, Denmark, France, Sweden don't have those same child support issues. Even though Thailand, I wasn't 100% sure about that one. Listen, I can admit when I'm wrong.
Sir, you're wrong about everything. You're wrong about literally everything you've said. Everything you said has been
Denmark
made
has
up,
child
sir.
support?
Sir, Google. I would say that Google is your friend, but in your case, I'm afraid you'll all be arch enemies. And there's the way that will work out. Here's the real problem: when a guy gets on here shamelessly, proudly, boldly, sitting up here saying the same fallacies over and over and over again. He shouldn't even have to think about that. He's so desperate for there to be a place that will cover for him and reinforce what he believes. He's just throwing words out there and throwing places out there and hoping that nobody looks it up. Hoping. As opposed to saying, you know what, let me shut my mouth until I got some real facts here. But that's not the truth. The truth is he wants to tell you that there's some place that's different. Women are the same everywhere. What they want and how they respond is the same everywhere. There is no safe place for that. Women make up things in every country in the world. Every single one. And you're lying if you try to persuade people or influence them to believe that somehow you get a raw deal in the United States, but you get a better deal somewhere else, or that you'll, quote, get away from the system. The system is global. The system is not in America. The system is global. And he's literally just sitting up here making things up as he goes. As if there's some place on this planet where they allow you to sit up here and get hoes pregnant and then you can just get up and bounce. Now think about how illogical that sounds on his face, everyone. Think about that for just a few seconds. He's telling you that there's some safe haven on this planet where men can just show up, knock the women up, and then if they want to leave with no consequences, away they go. And the men of that tribe or that nation will sit there and gladly raise your little Americanized bastard. And that they don't have any sort of biological hostility towards that. That's what he's trying to convince all of us right now, which just logic and reason on his face should tell you that ain't right. Well, who in the hell would have a society that they run where foreigners come in, blow off all these kids, and then leave the rest of you taking care of their bastards and nobody's going to do anything for their daughter? Nobody's going to do that. He's telling you that there are places where that's good. He's literally sitting up here saying that. And then he's sitting up here lying on Denmark, Zimbabwe, and anywhere else he can. He's sitting up here lying his ass off because he wants you to believe that there's a place that will let him do that. Because remember what he said, he never married that woman. You also notice another thing. He hasn't said how he met her. He has not explained how he met her. Yikes. I noticed you never explained how you met her.
You want me to explain? I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, sure. How did you meet her?
Well, we used to work together.
There you go. And what's the age difference between you?
About a year and a half.
Okay. And how many kids does she have?
Well, she has 2 now.
Damn! How many did she have when you met her?
None.
Now she's got 2. And how long ago did you meet her?
That was about 11 years ago.
Okay, there you go.
Sorry, more than that. Like 12, 13.
There you go. I was pretty much figuring you were probably around 25 when you met her, because that's the way them cats up there get down. Somewhere around 25. He wants something in her early 20s. And of course, he thinks he's going to handcuff her by getting her pregnant. Well, this will make sure that her draws permanently leave the streets, because he's real iffy on her. Let me go ahead and get her pregnant, and then she'll be out them streets. And he found out, no, it doesn't work that way. So he thought he was going to handcuff her. Yeah, that's what happened. He thought he was going to handcuff her.
No, it's not.
Sir, if she was a solid personality, then why is it that as soon as she has a kid, she's up here running off and allegedly, according to you anyway, because we don't have the whole story. But by the way, even if she were the kind of person to do that, why in the world are you sitting up here getting a chick who's capable of doing that pregnant?
Again, at the time, I didn't know. I was still naive to how this thing worked.
Sir, men have not been naive to this for the last 50 years. What are you talking about? We got songs, we got TV shows, we got sitcoms, we got movies. Who does not know? And you're from New York City? Who in New York City over the age of 15 does not know this?
Well, that's now. At the time, again, like you were saying earlier, there's no system that's going to allow men to run around and just knock up women. This wasn't a situation where I just knocked her up. Like, I was involved. I was fighting her for custody. I still am. So it's
sir, what was the vetting process that you used? Because why was she fit to get pregnant before you married her?
There was no vetting process. Again, that wasn't an environment.
Okay, thank you. Now, please tell me whether it is New York or New Delhi. How does a male prevent himself from making an absolutely titanically stupid decision when he walks in the door saying there is no vetting process for this female? Bring her over here. Let's get her pregnant. There is no vetting process. Tell me where on this planet that turns out well with any decision in life.
Well, listen, you're right. I'm not going to disagree with you. And again, I'm saying that I made that decision at a point in my life where I didn't know.
Okay, but America is not the issue. If a male has no standards, no principles, and no vetting process, then you're going to get the same result no matter where you are, which is why you didn't need a chick from America. You got a chick from Grenadian background, and take a look. Take a look how that turned out. She didn't just get sassy on you. She didn't just want child support. She's sitting up here running off with the kids somewhere.
So your argument, you're saying that FBA women don't put men on child support?
Sir, I never said anything about FBA women. You're having your Tourette's fit again.
No, you're trying to paint a narrative that if I would pick an American woman, that this wouldn't have happened.
No, sir. True. No. What folks, you got to understand, when women do drugs and the kids are, gestating, this is what happens. This is your baby on drugs. Sir, I'm saying that the women are the same everywhere. I've said that since the program began. I've said it several times to you. The drugs won't let you hear what I'm saying, so that's why you're idling like you are. I said the women are the same everywhere. You could have gotten the chick over here in America to give you this kind of problem. You sat up here and tried to do something you thought was slick and found out how smart you weren't. Well, I'm saying the same thing. The odds of it happening are the same anywhere you go. With any type of female you deal with, no matter where she comes from. The women are the same. That seems to be, even with a 4-letter word like that, seems to be something that you're fighting with in Mortal Kombat to determine what that word means. And we know you don't use Google, so we're out of luck. But in any case, I'm not going to try to define it for him. They will be the same. You keep saying FBA women. I never said FBA. Furthermore, I'm not saying that they're different. I'm saying exactly the opposite. Oh, hell, there's a big word. He's totally lost. Yeah, they're the same, sir. They're the same. When you get off the phone, you can go Google what the word same means, but they are the same. And for somebody to sit up here and lie and claim that there will be some difference of experience or difference in behavior, that's the lie. Right there.
Well, listen, if you're saying that they're the same and there's no difference, then I no longer have any contention. That was my only point. It came across that you were saying that the type of situation that he had was because it was an Asian woman.
When I literally started off the program several times by saying that women are the same all over the world. And what he's saying is he didn't understand what that meant. I said that several times. The women are all the same. Everywhere. And anybody trying to promise you that you're going to get some different species or different breed, it's all going to go bad quickly. Please resort to Google. Thank you for giving us a call. By the way, my name is my name and Ghost Breed, by the way, have they given their information to my mods? If they haven't yet, out they go. Out they go. Let me go ahead and take one more phone call here. Caller from area code 234. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, man? My name is Al from Ohio. Hey, I'm married to a Filipino, and I like to debunk everything you're saying. Matter of fact, I want the smoke.
Okay, I don't know if I have smoke necessarily, but what exactly it is that you have an issue with?
Okay, the passport move is for a man to leave the U.S. because the deal we get here is crappy, and go to other countries, but you have to research other countries and where your dollar is strong at. In Europe countries, our dollar is strong, but it's not that great. When you go to like the Philippines, Thailand, $1 is a 7-1 ratio. So for $1, I get 58 pesos. So imagine $1 here is like $58. And when I went to the Philippines, I met my wife there. And when I met her through my uncle, she was a tourist guide. And she speaks 3 or 4 different languages. And my wife, when I met her, she took me out, showed me around her village and her people. And ever since then, we ended up hooking up, So I ended up marrying my wife, and we got like 8 kids together. And I built us a house. I bought land. And I built me a store. And in her culture, they don't do divorces. They don't do child support. So when
okay, sir, we're getting real lost here. We're getting real lost. Okay, what exactly is it you're taking issue with, sir? Because we're getting real lost right now.
Okay, my issue is you saying is Asian women are more submissive than they are in their country, not in America.
Okay, sir, Asian women don't have a reputation of being submissive anywhere, sir.
If you look up the Philippines and their culture, the women will put your needs before theirs.
Okay, sir. No, sir. That's your anecdotal response. That is not a truism.
Okay, how can you say it's not true? My wife cooks and cleans. I don't have to ask her that.
Okay, well, first of all, women right here in America cook and clean, sir. That's not novel or new. Did you think it was? Sir, second try, sir. Women here in America, women here in America cook and clean. Did you think that was novel?
It's called Popeye chicken, sir. KFC, sir. We're talking about a live chicken. My wife takes a live chicken, break the chicken neck, and pluck it and chop it up and cook it, sir.
Okay, sir. Does your wife also knit and sew your pants for you too?
Yeah, she do everything, sir.
So you're telling me that you don't go to the store and buy pants, she makes them for you.
Sir, she know how to do that.
Okay, sir, that's a yes or no. So you don't have to go buy your own pants. Does she also make your shoes for you too?
Sir, I go to she don't make my shoes. I go to a place that tailors my shoes. And guess how much they cost for tailoring my personal shoes with my initials on it, sir? $15. but you don't get here down in America. Guess how much my house cost me, sir? $16,000 US for my mansion, sir. Guess how much my 4 acres of land cost me, sir?
He's trying, y'all.
Come on, you want to talk?
You have to understand. You got to understand. These fellas don't know when to stop piling on the bull crap, and then they just start saying crazy
I have
stuff.
land, sir. I got receipts. What are you talking about? Sir, I have 4 acres of land. I got a house. I got my own grocery store. I got my own gas station for 17 bands.
I have 2 questions to ask you then. Although I suspect it's about to get whittled down to 1. Are you at home right now?
Yes, I'm back in the U.S. about to go back home.
Wow, this lying sack of crap.
$1. Look
Yes, you lying sack of manure. Yes, you are. So notice he talks about his mansion, but he ain't calling from his mansion.
How many pesos
okay,
right now?
Sir, when can we talk to you at your mansion, sir?
My mansion? When I go back home.
When you're going back home, sir? You lying sack of manure.
I am planning on going back by the end of the summer, so I can have enough to finish building my store. I'm not store, but my gas station.
So you left your wife and your 8 kids to fend for themselves in the Philippines.
You know, my wife was ex-military, sir.
So you have left. So that's your excuse. You left your wife and your 8 kids to fend for themselves in the Philippines, and you gone for 6 or 7 months.
First off, my kids don't fend for themselves, sir. First of all,
they are right now.
Hold on. My kids are in private school. They have a bus there because I'm paying top dollar. They come pick up my kids. My kids also got the best education in the Philippines, sir. My daughter is going to be working on her doctorate degree next year. She's only 14 years old. What are you talking about? I built my daughter a house, sir. I got people living on my land paying me. Here in America, we don't get that, sir.
Sir,
you want to drink the Kool-Aid? It is great.
Okay,
we need people like
as I said from the very beginning, these guys are bullcrap artists of embarrassing proportions. They don't even know when to quit.
Hold the tape. Look up what's $1 of U.S. to the
Sir,
Philippines.
You have no proof that anything you've just claimed you have or have done is true. Not one.
You look up $1. Look up $1.
Sir, I don't need to look that up. You're claiming you have it. Sir, you're claiming that you've got it, and you don't.
Sir, I do have it.
Where?
And I know you scared.
Okay, sir.
And guess what?
Then, sir, go ahead and show us. Then, sir, go ahead and show us, and then you'll shut down all the argument. Let's see it.
Hey, hold on. I just looked up Google right now. $1
Sir, okay, you talking about Google results. We're talking about you.
Look it up right now.
Sir, where is yours? Sir, where is yours?
Huh?
Where's yours?
Bruh, I just told you. I am rich in the Philippines.
Okay, you is broke as hell in Texas. That's what you are.
Listen.
Okay, well, I want what you have to do, sir. You asked to make your case. You were allowed to make your case, sir. We asked you to make your case, and you failed embarrassingly. Sir, what you're going to do is you're going to take your triggered, emotional, fragile self, and you're not going to call back until we're going to get you on Zoom so you can give us a tour of the mansion with the wife and the 8 kids. That's what we're going to do. That's why he called in on the phone. He didn't know I was going to do that. He was ready to brag right up until said, by the way, are you at home right? No, I ain't there with you right now. Remember I said, everybody, I'm going to ask you 2 questions, though I have a feeling we won't make it past the first one. Are you at home right now? And then he realized, damn, the game's up. No, I ain't home. I'm big balling. Well, where are you big balling at? In America? Why aren't you making your money in the Philippines? If he's so set, why isn't he making his money over there? If he got it set up like that, he should be making his money over there. By the way, my likes are not where they need to be. Get this guy off my phone.
Nigga, please.
I'm a rich man in the Philippines. You a broke ass joke in Cleveland.
Nigga, please.
If a young fella don't know how to ask basic questions, y'all, did you hear that? They make my shoes with my name on it for $15. Folks, come on now. Come on. Let's get serious here. You know what destroys these guys' little propagandistic lying stuff here? When you talk to one of them, that's what does it right there. That did it. This fella said, her village don't have child support. Okay, her nation does. Her nation does. So you got to understand, when you're dealing with liars, they're just hoping that you're so dumb you don't get it. As soon as somebody with some sense asks half a question, there it is. Broke like cheese. All right, let me go ahead and get over here on Zoom. I got my man Prince. And what's on your mind, brother?
Jason, these guys frustrate me because they're so disingenuous and dishonest. I am a military man. They think we don't know about the Philippines. Do you know how many guys be trying to throw these Filipino women in my lap? These women, I said, do not try to have any of these people contact me. Most of these guys are living in already know rural villages because they can't afford to live in Manila. They're living out there taking care of their whole family. I mean, extended all of her bastard children in these villages.
By the other men.
He's taking care of her parents, maybe her grandparents. That's why he's out there in the middle of nowhere. This is common in all of these countries. I forget his name. Dennis Rodman daddy. He got 27 kids over in Vietnam. And they have all of them have stores. But they over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Prince. He's not in the middle of nowhere. He's right back here in the States. So this is another one of these fellas claiming a chick and a bunch of her bastard kids, trying to act like he flexing on us. No proof that he's related to any of them. He's just trying to tell us he's found some enclave to hide out somewhere. But no, he ain't in the middle of nowhere. She's in the middle of nowhere. He got his ass over here false flagging on the internet.
Yes, so they got an arrangement because the fact of the matter is they can't own land in these countries, okay? Not without having these wives. So this the trick bag. It's worse than child support. It's worse than alimony because she's the citizen. Guys, please get this. She is the citizen. So by her being the citizen, she's the one that's in charge. And all these little children, they don't accept these little half-breeds in most of these countries. And let me tell you something in particular. I was in Germany for 3 years. I never dealt with German women. I did slip up with a white woman, but I thought she was a red bone. She was Italian. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. But back to what I'm saying. These German women, these women, European women in particular, are notorious for having these children with these guys overseas. To get back here, the first thing they do, they drop the kids and the man. Some of these women are just looking for a way to get over here. And German women are notorious for doing that. And talking about these countries, some of these countries are like Finland and Denmark. They have more equal laws where both parents got to pay, but it's still child support. There's no such thing as not having child support. Thailand, excuse me, a man about 7-8 years ago, he went over there, old white man, having babies with this young 18 to 21. They say she 18. Young lady. She had about 4 or 5 kids. She started talking about she owed people money, and then he's trying to pay off the debt. They got him out the land he bought. He lost about $1.8 million because they kicked him out the country. She left him with the kids. He come back to fight in court. They hold him and seize his passport. People just walked up on his land and told him, you know what? This ain't your land no more. Your wife ain't living there, so it's not yours. This is what these guys are not telling you. And they got to come back at least 2 to 4 times a year. So what are you coming back for if that's where you live at? Because they don't want to lose their citizenship and they don't want to lose their military benefits. They come back to the hospitals and stuff like that. So it's all a hustle. So these older guys are lying. Jason, I want to ask you, do you think the young guys believe these older guys, or because or are they just using it as an excuse?
Well, I mean, certainly these young fellas don't know any better. They don't know any better. So you have a bunch of guys on the internet just sitting up here selling absolute garbage. Because these are fellas who, now, you and me being older, we've met these cats our whole lives. They've gotten older and failed their whole damn lives. So they go to the internet, spilling all these tall tales to a bunch of young dudes, never showing a shred of evidence. Number two, which is what you just said, none of them ever Google the laws to find out. That's a very good point you just made. There's a number of places, Dubai and other places, United Arab Emirates. No, you can't own land there.
No.
You can't own land there. So everyone, I want you to understand, Prince actually just threw a very good one at you right there. By the way, as a matter of fact, there's a lot of these places you can't even own land. So when these guys try to talk like that, with you having your American frame of reference, you thinking everybody does things the same way. No, they don't. No, they don't. So these guys will say these things, and remember the very first caller tonight. How many times I have to shut that garbage down? With him sitting here talking to me, with me telling him, dude, you know we can Google what you're saying, right? And he's still saying it over and over and over and over again. Prince, what's an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old going to do when some old bummed out nigga going to sit up here and just keep lying over and over and over again? It's the preacher man hustle. He's saying something that's false, but he's saying it with such conviction, and he won't move off of it. He starts convincing, oh, well, maybe he is right.
She gonna listen to it until she get tired of it. She gonna listen to him and move on. So they got weird laws over there in the Philippines. These guys can divorce these women, but the women still married to him. They got all kind of crazy stuff. So please stop. Please, young men, stop listening to these guys that verify whatever you told, even by us. I'm telling you what I know. That there are certain people that can get now. It used to be you could have a war baby, Jason. You could go over there, knock them up. Now all these guys, these women are going on the military bases, say he left me and this is who he is. They make sure they got your information there.
Oh, ever since Vietnam. Before Vietnam, you could get away with that. Since Vietnam, you can't get away with that anymore. You cannot. That chick will be over there in Asia, and you know this like I do, Prince. They all learn one phrase: superior officer. Don't matter who you are. All she needs is your name and just that you're legitimate. She'll find your superior. She'll find your commanding officer. She'll find your commanding officer, and she knows I might not be able to find you. Your commanding officer will.
And it's so cold, Jason. I don't want to give women too much game. All they people got to do, go on the base and talk to superior officer, and he don't even have to call a chain of command. He can call a Red Cross on you. They will find out where you at. You can be in the middle of a combat zone. They will find exactly where you are at. Ask me how I know. I'm telling you, they will find you. That Red Cross will find you wherever you are at. There's no hiding place. I don't know how they know, but I'm telling you the way the thing is. So you are correct, my brother. And you are trying to tell them, I don't know why the young men are pushing back and you telling them one thing, but they've been brainwashed, Jason.
Well, they've been brainwashed and manipulated, and we got to just call it by this. Yes, we got bummy, trashy young dudes being influenced by bummy, trashy older dudes. Yes. So they are inculcating them, look it up. They are mentoring them in the dark arts of bumminess. What does bumminess sit up here and do? What does crustiness sit up here and do? Bastard kids. You trying to make a mother out of her before you make a wife because you trying to handcuff her because she's the only thing that's not a size 16 you ever ended up in bed with. So they're in their 20s when they do that garbage. Then they get resentful when he hits his 30s. Well, how old's that guy? 38. They hit their 30s. What did Jason teach you all? When y'all hit your stride in your 30s, that's when your money start taking off. So if you're young and stupid, you don't care what you're doing. As soon as your money start getting together, and then she's like, oh, good, I got dibs on it. What was he upset about? Well, she don't want me to see the kid, but she sure does know how to file for child support. She does know how to get off in my pockets. Your job is not to be that stupid. But a male who has nothing going for him, has absolutely no problem getting 2, 3, 5, 8, 12 chicks pregnant. He ain't got a damn thing going for him. Nothing except sexual access. That's all he got. So if you're a young fella, it's like doing drugs. Folks who are strung out on drugs don't get along with people who aren't. If he's strung out on drugs, he wants you to be getting strung out too, because that's the only people whose company he can enjoy. So if he got a bunch of bastard kids, he's going to be telling you, I get a bunch of bastard kids. Next thing you know, you 26 years old and useless as hell. You're 26 years old and useless as hell to everybody else.
Jason, I'm going to ask you one last question. Jason, if they fell into the trap, and we're trying to keep the younger men from doing that, and some of the older men fell into the trap. We tried to tell them, we saw this game coming. We didn't have internet back in the 80s when I was overseas, and we knew the game. Women got the same game no matter wherever you go. They trying to get you to marry them. They trying to get you to have a baby with them, do all that. Jason, is it anything, is there anything we can do to stop these, help these young men to stop falling for the trap? No, that's not my question, really. Once they get trapped, why are they trying to send misinformation to other people after they've already seen this stuff doesn't work?
Well, I mean, if you're surrounded by a bunch of other failures, you can't tell the difference.
Okay.
See, the real issue is they get you when you're young. You don't have any real world experience. You're not really getting a whole bunch done. And they grab you before you have an opportunity to do that. Yeah. Just like the young females, they hang around a bunch of hoes. Next thing you know, you thotting it up. Your grandmama done messed up her chances. You're 22 years old. They're trying to help you mess up yours before you can actually get a run of your own. And it's absolutely epidemic at this point. It's epidemic. Remember, the most valuable thing in the world is a young man with no wife and no kids.
Yes, indeed.
I want y'all to understand that is the most valuable commodity asset in the world.
Even if his money ain't straight yet.
He's got a whole runway in front of him. If he has not been corrupted, demoralized, bummed out, mentored by other crusty dusties, if that hasn't happened, a young man with no wife, able-bodied young man with no wife and no kids, he's got the universe sitting in front of him. He is a builder who is simply looking for a place to start building. And he may build a little, he may build kingdoms. If you pick the right one, man, look here. It changes everything with a minimum of effort on your part. That's the most valuable thing in the world. Why do you think if a female meets a fella, he got a good rap to him, why do you think, okay, well, let me take having a baby with him is her saying, let me take a chance on him? Because she's like, wow, if this is the female response is, if this is the effect he has on me, what effect is he having on other people? And so she starts calculating, well, what could he do with that? That's why we're never going to be able to get females away from pimp talking preachers, and hustlers, and this, that, and the other. We're never going to get them away from that because females always see the parlayed value of that. If he can get 300 females in a room to sit still and be quiet, she starts making the assumption he can get 300 males to do the same thing. And who knows? He may or may not be able to do so. If he can, he's powerful.
Thank you, Jason, for saving me, because I never told you, but this is my confession, second confession. Before you started the business, I was headed, once my daughter finished college, I was gonna go to Africa and give me 3 wives in one of those countries, 3 to 5 wives, and have me a compound. And that's when I found out I couldn't own land over there. So, and then you started gaming me up, man, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Brother, if you were run over there to Africa, you'd be getting stretched out like Diddy as we speak, man. All them hoes would have found the New York Post, Cassie's lawyer Prince. All them hoes they would have been on the phone with him that night. His name is Prince. He from H-Town. Yeah, I'm from Kenya. He from H-Town. Beyonce.
Oh my God.
Bayhive. Go get him. Ex-military commanding officer. Brother, they already know, bro. Her mama be sitting there in the damn hut smoking on a cigar, and talking about and Gloria Steinem, Gloria Allred, call all of them. That's what it is. So we're naive if we think these folks don't know the game. We're not. It's a game you're only playing on yourself. This guy picked up a chick from Grenada, and look how she's doing them. And Prince, what I'm saying is that the part that was embarrassing about him is he's talking about, we don't know. Prince, we've been knowing that now for 50 years. Eddie Murphy did Raw back in the 80s.
My God.
When he talked about the African bush bee and Johnny Carson, he did that skit back in the damn 80s, Prince.
Isn't that almost 40 years ago?
Yes, it is 40 years ago. He did that skit back in the 80s, Prince. We old as hell. That's what I'm saying. There is no excuse. These fellas want to believe that they can get something for nothing. And that there is some safe enclave somewhere in the world where you can be an incompetent male, you can be lazy, you can be unaccomplished, you can be reckless, you can be stupid, you can be Peter Pan for the rest of your life. And the females will just sit back and let you. That's what they want to believe. They want to believe they can be Peter Pan.
Yes. They believe it because most of the veterans were real. When I was coming up, they would tell me the game. But when I was in the military, I started seeing another side. Guys talking about, yeah, man, if you in Korea, all you need is $20. You got the woman for the whole weekend. She'll press your uniforms and stay with you for the whole weekend. Yeah, but she has a motive. I say, no woman don't do anything without a motive. I say, once you get her back to the States, that's not going to be enough for her. And that's it.
Brother, it ain't gonna be enough for her wherever she at.
That's true. Not now.
There's Gucci stores all over the world. What the hell are we talking about? Dude, Instagram is worldwide. The same thing that your daughters are seeing on their timelines. That's the same thing these girls in Bangkok and Thailand and Laos and everywhere else are seeing on theirs.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's even in China, as a matter of fact. China tries to filter it, but in reality, they can get around. There's a whole industry in China built around getting around their filters and firewalls. But brother, it's anywhere on this. We done seen with the damn illegal aliens coming over here. Everybody got a cell phone.
Yes, they come with them.
Every single person got a cell phone. And let me tell you, Prince, if they didn't buy that cell phone in California, they had the cell phone with them when they came, and this done had service the whole damn trek up here from South America to New York. You are lying to yourself if you try to delude yourself into thinking, well, the American chicks are too demanding. This little overseas chick will let me get away with something. She's going to let you get away with something. You're not getting away with a damn thing. She's putting you behind the 8 ball. And these guys who call up talking stupid, they're behind the 8 ball too. They just want some company.
They think you hating on them, Jason.
I hate on stupid. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much good right there. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, Prince. Let me get caller from area code 347. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, brother Jason? This is Lex from Brooklyn.
All right, Lex from Brooklyn. What's on your mind?
Nothing much, brother. I just wanted to give a status update on the road to, producer status. Last time I called was a few months ago, and it was during your broadcast regarding, and I briefly spoke to you about the troubles I was having trying to, break into the next level within my career, and, just some of the hurdles I had going through it. So I just wanted to give you that update and my many things. So last time I reported that I was roughly making about 120. I just signed and I sent in my resignation so I can go into a new director role within my field for 170. So just
Well, it's a step in the right direction. I do not discuss high value men. I build high value men. So, but then again, considering where you live and you work, you just getting above working class. So, hopefully we can keep that going.
I know. It's just a step in the right direction. I'm 30, by the way. If I hadn't mentioned that in the past, but yeah, I'm 30. So, as you mentioned, I have a huge road ahead of me. I have no kids, no wife, so just looking forward to the future and just continuing to build and be better.
You got where you are spending the last decade focusing on yourself and your betterment. You weren't focusing on television. You weren't focusing on entertainment. You were focusing on building a better you. And if you will do that for the next 10 years, the world is going to be wide open to you. because the life experience you've had so far is nothing compared to what you will have, the things you will see, the stuff you will experience. By the time you get to that age, as long as you ain't like the first caller who called in from New York, as long as you're not like that, you're going to be nobody's fool. You will value what you built because you know what it took to get it, which means you ain't going to give no heifer the ability to sit up here and juke you out of it. She talking about she need to get pregnant. Like, you better get down there to the slums and find somebody to do that because I'm not the one. I'm not going to give you power over me. So if you stay focused with that dude, you're coming into your 30s, you're just now going to be hitting your stride, hitting it socially, intellectually, emotionally, and financially. Brother, look here, I mean, you'll be able to pick and choose. When you do want a female, you can pick and choose from the litter. Now the women ain't gonna like that. The women gonna be hating on it, but hey, it is what it is. You want to have, you're gonna have all the leverage because you got some leverage right now, but that is nothing compared to what you're gonna have.
Now, before we disconnect, I do want to know, like, now that I'm entering into this new space, what's just some key advice that you'd have for individuals like myself and others, just coming up.
I just gave it to you. The single biggest thing that trips males up is focus, 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 focus. They make their focus getting some draws. They make their focus getting a car. They make their focus getting a cell phone, as opposed to making themselves the most powerful, resourceful individual that they can be and realizing that all this other stuff is merely a side effect of that. If I could keep these young males like yourself focused, and here's the real thing, because at this point now it actually becomes monotonous. That's what breaks a lot of them. When I talk to my truck drivers, I tell them you're making money with every rotation of your wheels. And if I can keep you spinning those wheels, eventually you're going to have a lot of resources built up. With you, it's can I get you to perform the same seemingly monotonous routine every day? Because it's just like working out. I don't care if you got the best diet in the world, the best trainer in the world, and the most fitness effort in the world. If you are not consistent, then it's useless. So if I can't get you to if I can't get you to give me every bit of effort, determination, discipline, and focus on day 100 as you were giving me on day 1, we ain't gonna make it. There's where it really falls apart. They get down the road a little bit. Money get a little fluff. It ain't really thick. It's getting a little fluff there though. Next thing you know, hey, let me go grab some ass and, let me go take a break for a while. Next thing you know, that 1 week break turns into a 1 year break because you're either going to be all in or all out. And that's really what it's going to be for young men. Now, eventually you'll reach a point where you can gain balance. My thing is you will not be able to test the waters until you have a sufficient cushion between you and being flat ass broke. A chick getting pregnant will take you from affluent to broke like that. A chick who ain't got good principles marrying you will take you from affluent to broke like that. She will, all of a sudden, you go from females being an annoyance when they're doing something you don't like to being in a situation where it derails everything. You got to stop everything you doing to deal with this garbage, and they've just got a pass to sit here and mess with you in that regard. Or you decided, instead of me building an empire, let me go get a car. And you're in New York City, Friday, up and down the FDR, up and down, West Side Highway, up and down 34th. They'd be going 100 miles an hour. Well, that's all they want. They got a car. Let me go sit up here and play grab ass with the girls, and then they're done building. If I can keep you focused on where you're going, then will you trust that females, cars, clothes, all that is a side effect of what you're doing. It's not the purpose of what you're doing. They're a side effect. You stay productive, all that shows up on its own. That shows up by itself. Can I keep you performing like this nuclear reactor? Can I get you going up every day and give me the same effort at the end of the first year as you gave me on the first day of the first year? If I can do that, dude, your whole life falls into place when you do that. The men who really make mistakes are the ones who can't focus. Let me go get a chick. Let me go get her cute. Let me go impress these people over here. Dude, you just lost focus. You just lost. Was that what we started out with, trying to impress people? No, we were trying to prove something to ourselves, not other people. As soon as you start talking like that, you lost the plot, man. You lost the plot.
And I'll say this much: like once I got the offer and everything, like I'll just gotten more motivated to just be an expert, to just as you mentioned, just that new level of focus. Now I'm here, I'm securing my position, and I want to see continued growth. Like I'm hungrier than I've ever been before, just to just dominate. You know what I mean? So I see what you mean, brother Jason, in your previous broadcast, and to all the viewers listening, the game is serious. The game is real. You just gotta, really apply it to your life somehow, some way, and execute it. So I just want to say thank you again for everything you do, brother Jason. Really appreciate you for that.
Well, just keep at it, and please keep us updated. I want to see how things go.
Will do.
You're just getting started. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. As I say, I do not discuss high value men. I build high value men. I do this behind the scenes. I don't have to sit up here and show up every week and, can I get somebody this, that, and the other? When you're actually doing the work, remember something here. Real power whispers. Weakness yells. Desperation won't shut the hell up. So you want to know what I'm doing? This is what I'm doing. And I do it well. Oh yeah, one more thing. And I do it well. I didn't just get it for myself. I got folks who will call you up every week and tell you, by the way, hey, this is what he's done for me. This is what he got for me. Let me go ahead and see if we can get over here on Zoom. Okay, Jay is calling me from Zimbabwe, I think. You have your phone pointing up at the ceiling there. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to go ahead and get that resolved. Okay, Jay, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to turn your camera on and everything there because you're on Zoom. If not, permanent vacation. So it's up to you whether or not you want that to occur or not. Zoom is not the place for us to be starting our OnlyFans. All right, Jay, what's on your mind?
Okay, basically, the problem is the majority of men, they want to go abroad in order to get women who are traditionalists rather than the feminists that they have in the West. That's one of the fundamental problems that exists. So what would you say about that?
Okay, well, I think you make a very good point that that's a bit of a contradiction. But here's the other thing. I didn't ask the first caller about that and whatnot when they were talking about that before. But when they say traditional, what the hell does that mean? When folks even use that term, I think they're using terms with no frame of reference. They have a goal, but not an understanding. So there's something that they want, and they've given it a label. But I don't think in most of their cases they actually even understand what that means. I think most people are trying to get something for nothing. And when they discuss traditional, all the women today are trying to find a man who's a chimera. Look it up. A man who is a contradiction, a creature that can't actually exist. They want him to be this 21st century baller, completely different from her father and grandfather, because your father and grandfather weren't ballers. They want him driving a $100,000 car and living in a $500,000 house. But they want him psychologically and emotionally to be father knows best. To only have to be this extraordinary man who can do anything he wants. He can do anything he wants. He can do all the stuff that all the playboys do, but that he's not a playboy himself. Well, that's a contradiction. She wants him to be this emotional, quote, traditionalist. But that's not a traditionalist. A traditionalist doesn't drive a $100,000 car. A traditionalist doesn't have a $500,000 house. A traditionalist is not attractive to all females. Your grandfather was attractive to your grandmama, and that was it. That was tradition. Likewise, the fellas want a female who is traditional, but traditional according to his definition of it. Whatever his pet definition of it is at the time, or whatever serves him at that moment. But not a real true definition that is solid, that is there, whether it's to his convenience or not. Case in point, a traditional man is not away from his kids 6 months out the damn year. Your wife is on the other side of the damn world with 8 kids and you in America. That's not a traditional relationship. And that's not a traditional woman who does that either. So I would challenge these fellas about what their definition of that really is.
So what their definition of a traditional woman would be was they would want a more stay-at-home type of woman, a woman who's into child rearing, who's cooking, cleaning at home whilst they're the hunter-gatherer. That's what they're predominantly looking for.
Okay, but that's not true either. I mean, there's a problem with that too, though, because here's the issue. For example, black women, for example, have never been stay-at-home moms.
But white women were in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, right?
The fellas calling me are not white men.
Oh, right. But basically, that's the kind of women.
Oh, so in other words, they want something that they've never seen or never experienced themselves.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's what I was saying. They have a goal, but not a definition, because their traditional upbringing is a grandmother who worked and a mother who worked and aunties who worked, except the ones who was on welfare and drugs. So they never really grew up with that. So they're talking about a word. They're having a term that they want to define for themselves, but not something that they've actually lived.
Yeah, that's correct. They want something they've not lived.
Yeah, well, okay, but I'm going to let you finish here. I'm going to let you finish, but I want you to think about this before you give your answer. I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
But if they're asking for something that they don't even know about, they didn't grow up under it, so they can't tell you what it will do or what it won't do. So why are they so hell-bent for leather to have something that they don't really identify with, have no background information on, or no answer about? It must be because you're looking for it to give you something you don't know, and you're just hoping it will.
Yeah, so they're thinking the grass is greener over the other side, so to speak, in that, rather than deal with the boss babe, the boss chick, the feminazi, as they put it, you can have a more traditional woman from a country like, I don't know, Saudi Arabia, Iran, or a country, I don't know how traditional the Philippines are, how traditional their women are. So they're looking for something which is like someone who's going to be more submissive, more passive, more agreeable, and less confrontational. They're just tired of like what they consider to be masculine black women. And,
okay, but here's my thing about that. That's the other term I was looking for there. Traditional. Okay, we just debunked that one. Submissive. It's in the title of my program tonight. What in the world does that mean?
Someone that will look at male authority and say, well, the male is in charge and he's my protector and I will just adhere to his authority. That's generally what they mean in a submissive woman, not not like one of these feminists who unfortunately just won't do anything to just abide by the male authority. There's a lot of pushback. There's a lot of fight back by that. That's their perception of American women, whether black or white.
Well, when you do look that word up, I think it's very, very important for folk to know that. Dictionary.com, submissive, adjective, inclined or ready to submit or yield to the authority of another, unresistingly or humbly obedient. Number two,
that's what they want.
Marked by or indicating submission or a yielding to the authority of another. Noun, also called informal, the participant in, some sort of sexual games there. We'll come back to that some other time here. Here's the issue with that word as it gets bandied about. Remember that first one you were given, inclined or ready to submit or yield to the authority of another. By definition, submitting to somebody's authority means that they're giving you instructions and that you are submitting to their authority, replacing your autonomy with their authority. That works perfectly fine.
That's what they want.
Well, that works perfectly fine if the person giving you directions actually has a direction to take you in.
Right. So these high-valued men, or those that claim to be high-valued, who've got their business career fixed, or those that have got their professional careers sorted, are looking not for challenges from from women who are just how should I say, combative, as they put it. They want someone more submissive, more like feminine. And as a result, when they're not getting that from America, they think, well, we've got to look elsewhere. And in addition to this, they fear that they'll end up in dead bedrooms. They'll end up in a loveless marriage. And they also fear that in the future, because, you know, the American women, because they view them as a beta bucks, that in the future, the American women will divorce them in a divorce court, and then they'll be left, you know, financially ruined, emotionally a wreck. They believe they're going to be ending up in a cupped relationship where the feminist women of the West will cheat on them, give them a dead bedroom, and after that, divorce them and take half their thing. So that's what they're trying to avoid, the black and white American men. That's why they're going abroad to different countries in the world.
Okay, well, that idea of a Shangri-La or some haven somewhere or some paradise, what I'm saying is you get what you give. And if you are a male who's trying to get top 10% treatment, first and foremost, are you a top 10% male? And that's not just income. Do you have a mission? Do you have a purpose? Do you have a goal? Are you competitive? Or is your goal to stack up as many females as you can and have some voluptuary lifestyle? If that's a goal, then it's going to be only a matter of time before somebody takes whatever female you have, because you don't actually have one. Being a competitive is what gives us value as men. Being competitive, looking at what we got and saying that's not enough. That's what gives us, that's what disarms hypergamy, because certainty is what arms hypergamy. Uncertainty is what disarms it. As long as a woman is unsure what this man is capable of or can do, hypergamy has to sit in the back seat. As soon as she's certain she's seen your best, she's not afraid to test you now, because she's like, okay, I've seen everything that there is. So when I hear men and their goal in life, especially a particularly vulnerable one, centers around women, that's going to be a problem. The other thing I don't like is when you're talking to obviously powerless males who are trying to protect power that they don't even have. So they have a fantasy, they're having a power tripping fantasy, but they're not actually strategically protecting anything. All of this is hypothetical to them. Like the guy, I got a mansion. Where at? In the Philippines. Where are you at? In Denver. Okay. And that's basically what we deal with. So if you could ever get past that hypothetical stage, I think it works out a little bit better. These are guys who don't want to be traditional men, but they want traditional women. And then you got women who don't want to be traditional women, but they want traditional men. And nobody is being actually honest with each other about what it is they're actually asking for, which is why I want to start with traditional first and submissive. A man can only get a woman to submit when he has power. His power is not going to be relative to himself and the rap he's given her. His power will be relative to the other men around her other options around her. That's what determines how powerful you are. If these other men are not options or she doesn't want them, then guess what? You win. But if they are options, well, the amount of submissiveness you're going to get is going to be relative to what she can actually get or believe she can actually get. People are using phrases and terms and don't really know what they mean. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah. So basically, when I look at the social media trends, and when I look at like the type of choices that women make in a mate, the type of men that they choose, they generally tend to choose the top 10% in terms of looks, in terms of height, in terms of race. That's what generally seems to be happening. I don't know to what extent that is, how reliable those stats are, but that's what seems to be the trend. And they care more for actually looks than they do for money. They'll rather have like a good-looking pretty boy rather than a rich man.
Not true. So, I mean, that's really not true. No. However, it does serve a function. Remember, you and I are not females, so we see men differently than a female does. Just like a female can never see another female the way men do. When men see a female, we got different ideas about what we gonna do than any chick you know has. So a female can see another woman and can they can appreciate her build or appreciate her physique. But the bottom line is she has no intention of doing what we gonna do with it. She can just look at it. Well, guess what? It's the same thing for men. As a man, you've never thought about bearing another man's child. Think about that for a few moments. So all the fellas out there who get upset about that, actually looks serve a very necessary, essential biological purpose.
Yeah.
If this woman wants a child that looks as I want a cute, what person does not want a cute kid? Nobody wants a little ugly baby. There's a bunch of y'all ugly babies out there, and I'm gonna say some names here in a few months. But no, a woman has not been sitting up her whole life dreaming of having a little ugly kid. She wants to have a strong, cute, agile child who is presentable. That's what she wants, especially if she's gonna risk her life. So a female has goals when she gets pregnant. It can't just come down to, okay, measure the slide ruler. It can't just come down to that. Okay, great slide ruler, and he's 4'2". Come on now. That doesn't bode well for the future of the bloodline. This is biology now. So when a female looks at a guy, he's tall, dark, handsome, those are not traits that can be substituted. Let's get this out of our heads. Men, this is just brutal reality. Those are not traits that can be substituted. If he looked like Idris Elba, she like, hell, if the kids come out looking half as good as him, I'm winning. Just gotta get the rest of this together. But these biological traits cannot be substituted. And you can talk about it's unfair, you don't like it, and this, that, and the other, and I can't help it that I wasn't born 6'8". It is what it is. It is what it is. That guy is going to get play because those are physical traits that can't be substituted. Now, they can be offset, but they can't be substituted. Any more than, let's just call it what it is, you know, the 4'2" chick with her built like a basketball. It's like, okay, baby, you should talk about her sterling personality. It is what it is. You fellas are superficial. Call me whatever the hell you want to. These are physical traits, they're biological traits that can't be substituted. If I have kids with you, I'm going to have some little short, basketball built kids. Am I really trying to sign up for that? And we got to be honest. We got to be honest with ourselves. That's not something that I hold against women. It's something that I understand. It serves a purpose. And as a man who's never going to have to carry kids, it's easy for me to say, why you need a fella who look like that? You're not the one who's thinking about what you're going to be looking in the face of for the rest of your life. You're not the one doing that. She is. So for the women, fellas, you got to come back to reality here. It serves a purpose.
Yeah. And basically what men are now saying in the West is that this type of looks hypergamy, this type of race hypergamy is rather extreme and is blown out of the water in the West. Now they're thinking if I go to a place like Saudi Arabia or Iran, it would not perhaps be as bad. And that is the reason why they'd probably want to go over there or anywhere but America. So here it is. Now, when you say they're off, you need to offset your poor looks for money or status. Essentially, what will be happening is that the woman will be choosing the high-valued man in terms of money and status as a beta bucks, and he will be ending up in a dead bedroom, a loveless marriage. He'll get cucked. And
okay, but that will happen to him regardless because of, once again, he's violated that rule you talk about with submission. Submission requires authority. And if you are not a man who commands respect and authority, that's what keeps the bedroom cold. That's what keeps you're not an alpha. And a female is going to, just like she's going to respond to tall, she's going to respond to powerful as well. Money does not make a man powerful. Powerful makes money. And if you're not resourceful, you're not accomplished, you don't do that, that's where you get into trouble at. A female does not want a beta, but she will take what a beta has as an insurance policy against his lameness. She doesn't really want him, but just like a man will take a female, okay, does she have large breasts? Well, if she has large breasts and ready to have sex, that's an insurance policy against her not having a personality. Same thing with a man. If he's lame, Well, his money is an insurance policy against that. So at least when I do leave him, I'm not leaving with nothing. I'm leaving with something. It wasn't just a total waste of time.
Right. Do you remember a guy called Jeremy Meeks?
Now, everybody knows about him. Yeah. I'm going to need to wrap this up here in just a moment here, but I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah. So Jeremy Meeks, of course, you remember him, was that biracial guy who beat a kid almost to death. And then he was arrested and he was going to be charged for assault. And he had his mugshot everywhere and all the women just came after him. Now, at the end of the day, this guy was a loser. This guy was a thug, no disrespect to him. But because of his looks, it was just only on looks, he became famous. He became a model and now he's a resounding success. All because of his looks, all because of his height,
that doesn't make you a success, though, sir. I mean, he looks like the same guy he did before. He was doing things differently. Also, I would admonish males not to say things like you just did. Well, he was a thug and this, that, and the other. Because okay, sir, I would admonish you all not to do that because women don't talk about each other like that.
Okay, so I mean, basically, I'm just framing a conversation.
Yes, well, I'm saying, brother, I'm teaching you all something right now. By the way, women, no matter how trashy, dirty, low down, 15 abortions, 500 sex partners, women don't characterize each other like this. So they don't try to disqualify each other. When they get into place and start talking about males and females, they don't go to work using language that disqualifies each other. They don't do that. Males get together and try to disqualify another male. Women don't do that. So if you want to know why the politicians in America and Britain, by the way, because Britain is just as infested by feminism as America, in some ways much worse, because over there it's a hate crime to call a heifer ugly, or at least they're trying to make it one. We're not that far along over here yet. But I would admonish you all not to do things like that. That's a bad precedent. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Like I say, look here, dude's trying to make a case about what the women want and this, that, and the other. What I'm saying is, hey, women are going to want what they want. As men, your job is not to fight that. Your job is to understand that. Jeremy Meeks, he almost beat this fella to death. Okay, once again, dude is going to have to tune into me more often so he can learn these kind of things. He said that as if that was a negative. Did you get that? He said that as if it was a negative. So there's so much. He's not seeing the world from the female perspective. He's seeing the world from his own. And why don't they pick me? Bruh. Your job is to understand women and be what they want. They need to be more traditional and be more submissive. You're not giving them anything to submit to. And they have too many other options they would prefer to submit to. Jeremy Meeks beat this dude down, almost killed him. You know what that says to a female? He can protect me. As a man, you don't think about the fact that you have 50% more muscle and 50% more bone density than the female does. Your reflexes are far faster than hers. You don't think about it that way because for you, these are a given. They're a given to you, but they're not a given to a female. A female knows that even if she has a gun in her hands, half of the men on this planet can disarm her easily. I tried to game him up and it just blew right by him. I tried to give him a chance. I knew he wasn't going to listen very much. It blew right by him. When I talk about the pregnancy thing, you're not thinking about this the way a female does. You're thinking about this like a guy, not like the woman. A woman has to be aware of that. And a man who can beat another fella down with his bare hands has just demonstrated he can take care of himself, which means he's much more likely to be able to take care of her. That is a positive for a female. That's a positive. As a man, you don't think that way. Females must think that way. She must. And this idea that women should just ignore that and overlook that so you'll feel better or so you'll have more female options. They should ignore biology and survival so you can have more female options. Even if you're deficient, even if you don't make the grade, even if you're not able to protect her, even if you're not performing, she's going to do that anyway. She's supposed to be okay with your little ugly Quasimodo looking baby over there so that you can have a female partner. And what I'm saying is that's very self-serving. It's just not very damn logical. Fellas, you want something. The women do too. And this idea that you're supposed to get everything you want and she's supposed to just take a raw deal. Or that you're going to shame her. Why you need that tall, good-looking fella? Nigga, did you think about what you just said? That's as stupid as a female saying, why do you need that little cute chick over there with that booming, banging ass body on her? Why do you need that? Why do you need some super fly looking chick over there? Body is banging off the coat rack. Why do you need that? This is silliness. It's called biology. It's not even something you have to think about. And in the 21st century, just like we've civilized society to the point that females can be outrageously silly and stupid, guess what? For the males, we've civilized society to the point they can be silly and stupid too. Why does she need that? It's called biology, nigga. Yeah, she needs that. And she knows if she ain't got it, she's going to have to compensate for it. Yes. She wants a little cute baby. She doesn't want the little bug-eyed, buck-toothed kid with the little pig face. No, she doesn't. There's no woman who is sexy as hell who is looking forward to giving birth to a kid who looks like Dougie Fresh in the crib. Tarana Burke's parents are still trying to figure out if she's adopted. And this idea that we're going to make females be happy with less. No. Now, there are things you can be and there are things you cannot be, and that's understood. No man is going to be perfect. Okay, your job is to analyze where are my strengths, where are my weaknesses, and you pick up your strengths as much as you can, and then you suppress your weaknesses as much as you can. And then you go from there. Because sitting and moping about what you don't have doesn't make you more powerful, more valuable either. But this idea that all the women are sitting around with, well, you should love me for my sterling personality. Fellas, get off of it. Get off it. Sounds silly as hell. Get off of it. Call America 516. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, brother? Jason Zed. I'm calling from Queens, New York.
Adam from Queens. What's on your mind?
In fact, I was told to call in because I just sat there and said that I just disagreed with the whole Western women being the same. That was all I said. I didn't get to iterate or explain. I got put on pause and told to call, so that's what I did.
Okay. Now you can explain.
Yeah, I mean, that last conversation you had, basically, I would say covered much of what I was going to say as far as the U.S. Being one of the most feminism, ridden society. So when I'm not a passport bro, I don't present them, but when they speak, I think that they misinterpret when they speak tradition and they speak culture. When you go overseas, like I've been to DR, I've been to Mexico, and in these spots, yes, the culture is different. Now, as far as tradition, as far as women go, I agree with you. It could be the same everywhere. I mean, if you're a mark, if you're a bum, you're a buster, that you can't go anywhere and be that way and expect anything from a woman, period. No matter where you go, how submissive she is, if you're a buster anywhere you go. But that's just all I was saying. I didn't disagree with you.
Okay, well, let me deal with a couple of things there. All right, to all the fellas listening here, because your red pill people can't really help you with this because they themselves don't understand and or cannot articulate it. This concept that you all refer to as feminism, can you define for me what it means?
Speaking to me?
You're the one on the phone, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. From what I understand, I probably cannot define it precisely, but I know feminism is more of an anti-male authoritative mindset that these women carry around. That
not true
is what I would put it in.
Now, there's the issue is it's not true.
Okay.
Now, what you're complaining about, understandably, is its effect on you. But feminism, by its very definition, is actually self-centered. It is a system or a behavior system of preferential treatment for females simply because they are females, which is why they're constantly bringing up, oh, I need free maxi pads and I need free time off for pregnancy. The things that make them different from men, they're constantly trying to flex that and constantly trying to drill more and more on that they should get preferential treatment in any of those areas, and then they push it out even further, or peripherally in those areas. If you think about it for a few moments, we've always had feminism. Now, this is the dirty, little, diabolical, evil little secret that males don't want to accept, because you've had this fallacious idea of matriarchy, a patriarchy put in your minds. And in reality, you've always had preferential treatment for females. Let me give you an example that crosses cultures, boundaries, everything else. Every society on the face of the earth has a concept of marriage. It also has a concept of adultery. However, when a man marries a woman, there is no society anywhere that enforces his expectation of sexual access to her. Now you have religions that tell you should, and you have, cultural teachers and political leaders who say, baby, it'd be a very good idea when he comes to the door, drop it off. Well, they say that, but there's nobody that's made a law that says when he says drop it off, you dropping it. Never. Never. If you marry her and she was triple X rated the entire time you married her, and 30 days after you married her, she now only wants to have sex once every 6 months, they gonna tell you got to deal with it. There's no one pressuring a single woman on this planet throughout time that she must do that. Now, if you as a man want to get a divorce, and you say, you know what? I was paying these bills, but I'm through with that. All of them going to be like, excuse me, we're knocking on your door. You through with what? You through with what? No. You got to take care of that regardless. You got kids. You got to take care of that regardless. Yeah, but I ain't getting no sex or nothing. Well, see if y'all can work it out. But as far as your masculine duties, you still have to do that. You have to do that anyway. Now, that's not an American thing, is what I'm trying to bash through these fellas' skulls. That's not an American thing. That's not a Western thing. That goes all the way back to your Bible. And if you've been afraid to actually check it and challenge some of your preconceptions, you didn't understand it. By the way, it doesn't tell the woman she must do it or else. See, that's the enforcement mechanism. For men, you must take care of the family or else. For the woman, you must take care of the kids or else. But as far as satisfying your man's needs or whatever, well, that's how you got him, but nobody's gonna force you to keep doing it once you got him. Now, we'll force him to keep doing it. We will not force you. Y'all never heard Rollo Tomasi, Richard Cooper, any of these other folks out there. Y'all never heard them say what I just said right now. You never heard it. You get the insight and analysis here you receive absolutely nowhere else, because these other people say things and they throw terms out and they vomit out terms, and they have no frame of reference, no historical knowledge, and no idea what they actually mean in practice. So when you think about it, that's feminism. And you've always had that. What you've had over the last 100 years is an effort to extract greater preferential treatment within a government framework. Now, that's what you're seeing now. Not the invention of preferential treatment, which has an automatically adverse effect on men, which is why men are so upset about it. But it's that's what it does to you. That's a side effect of it. But do not be deceived. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They've always known what they're doing. And the idea is to get you to allow them to have that and to start saying things like, well, this is new. No, it's not. It's not new. It's been there the whole time. Been there the whole time. We just didn't call it that. Take a look at where you are today. Feminism's always been there. Take a look how women band together without you saying anything. Take a look at that. That's biology at work.
Yep. Yep. I mean, I agree with you, brother. It's just that when you're talking to the other brother, I think you got to understand that there's certain levels to what you're going to be able to get in this life as far as a partner goes as a female. Like if you have a bunch of money and you may be a built guy, but you don't look as good as the other brother does, and he has the same amount of money, he's still going to have more options than you. So, I mean, you can't hold that against the female either. They're going to go for their best option as well. So I didn't have to disagree with you in the chat. I hope I ain't in trouble. The last time I spoke to you, I really want to thank you about my daughter being in the military. I think I spoke to her. We switched roles. I really wanted to get into law because we speak about that a lot. And she seemed to be a little bit more interested in that. So I thank you for that. Be one, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Like I say here, I mean, this idea you're going to get something for nothing, that's a dangerous assumption to be making. People should want to get something for something. That's what they should be looking for. They shouldn't be looking to try to get something for nothing. They should be looking to try to get something for something else. If you have, the women say they want a traditional man. Bullcrap. Women want an exceptional man. Oh boy, let me go ahead and do it for you right quick. It's a Friday night. It's a Friday night. Let's go ahead and deal with this right quick. It's a Friday night. Let me go ahead and crank up the cauldron. Let me crank up the cauldron real quick here. Explain something here, folks. People want something. Everybody wants something here. And you're talking about you want a traditional man. No, you don't. Ladies, go ahead and take a look at your grandfather. That's a traditional man. Take a look at the house your grandfather bought for your grandmama. That's a traditional house. Take a look at the whole neighborhood that you now call the old side of town. That's a traditional house. That was a traditional man with a traditional job, with a traditional house, with a traditional housewife. And there's not a one of you broad say broads. I damn sure did.
And deal with it, nigga.
There's not a one of you heifers up in here listening right now who wants that to be your life. You respect your grandmother. You love your grandmother. You want more than your grandmother had. Your granddaddy was not a traditional male taking your grandmama on a cruise vacation in her 30s. That was an exceptional male. Your grandmama didn't have a Chanel bag. She might have had some Chanel perfume and she was lucky. Your grandmama was a traditional woman. She didn't have a Chanel bag. She didn't have any red bottoms. She didn't have an $80,000 car. This idea that we're going to sit up here and rewrite history and reclassify it and talk that an exceptional man is in fact a traditional one. No, he ain't. Your daddy was in the military for 20 years, got his damn pension if he didn't get his head blown off for PTSD. He wasn't exceptional today and he wasn't exceptional back then either. No disrespect, no shade, but that's not exceptional. Military dudes get cheated on all the damn time. You know why? Because the women they married to are like, that's not exceptional. That's great. That's cool. Ironclad benefits. You're not exceptional. It is what it is. It is what it is. Period. You want a fellow with an $80,000 car? That's exceptional. $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 house? That's exceptional. The ability to pay for you Chanel, Fendi, Louis, that's exceptional. That ain't average. And it's damn sure not traditional. Your daddy and your granddaddy did not buy your mama a Louis Vuitton bag. No, he didn't. Hell, you didn't have the damn rollouts of the stores until the last 30 years. Now you're sitting up here trying to gaslight folk about this. No, you want to be a traditional female with an extraordinary man, and telling folk you want him to be ordinary. Let me tell you something right now. If your man can drive a $150,000 car, that's an exceptional man. That's not traditional. You know who else drives the $150,000 and $200,000 cars? The fellas who got it. And the man who's got it before he got married, he's got options in females. He didn't get that kind of financial and social status so that he can isolate his choices down to one chick. He didn't do that so he can isolate he can sit up here and funnel all his choices, become an extraordinary man so you can have a typical ordinary chick. Ain't no man ever did that. You want the playboy is what you want. You want him tall, dark, handsome, well-paid, life of the party, nobody's fool, can knock somebody out if he wants to. Well, that's exceptional. That's exceptional. And that's the man you want. Well, that's not traditional. The traditional dude gonna buy you a Louis bag when you 50 or 60. That's a traditional male. The traditional guy will get to that when or if he ever could. That's a traditional male. A traditional male doesn't even buy you something from the top 5% lifestyle even as a present. That's something he gotta take care of after y'all retire. When you're a couple of broken down little old folk waddling your way on the deck of the ship during the Tom Joyner cruise. That's the traditional male. You talking about you want a guy who can do all that in his 30s, a male who can do all that in his 30s, baby, he gonna want everything. And everything is not you. What? But it's true. He's going to want variety. He's going to want choice because he's got it. That's not a traditional male. A traditional male ain't a playboy. A traditional male doesn't drive a playboy's car. A traditional male drives a daddy mobile. Stop with the bull jive. A traditional male drives a daddy mobile. A traditional male drives a regular car. A traditional male goes to regular places. He doesn't go on cruise ships. A traditional male don't do that. A traditional male doesn't mess around with a bunch of females because he doesn't have what a bunch of females want. He's got what you want, or maybe what you need. He doesn't have a bunch of that. So if that's the guy you want, the exceptional male, stop using that word traditional. Traditional and exceptional are contradictions. An exceptional male is going to have exceptional desires and exceptional capabilities. Perhaps you should ask yourself whether that's what you actually want. Every female will then go ahead and try that damn bluff and that lie. I don't need no exceptional male then. And we all are sitting over here like, lie. And she know it. Because a regular male bores you. You want to see a female who starts putting on weight and her life is over? Drop her with a boring dude and she's sitting there on the porch in her rocking chair trying to give me, we find you like me. She's bored to tears. She's bored to death. She's bored to suicide. A traditional male is boring. A traditional male goes to work. He doesn't want any exceptions. He doesn't want any wild cards in his day. He wants what happened this morning to be what happens when he goes to bed tonight. He doesn't want anything exceptional to happen. Ordinary guys don't want extraordinary events. He doesn't want surprises. Exceptional men come prepared for surprises, but that's because he's constantly testing the waters. You better ask yourself that question. Do you really want a traditional male, or do you want exceptional? Ladies, you want exceptional. You damn sure do. Okay, then stop talking about you want a traditional male. If you want an exceptional male, you're going to have to take that and everything that come with it. If you want an exceptional male, you're going to have to take him and everything that comes with him. Ain't that right, La Anthony? Call from Miracle 314. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, yo, how you doing, Elder? My name is Corey. I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
All right, Corey from St. Louis. What's on your mind?
I talked to you a couple of weeks ago, and I told you before that you had gave me the information and motivated me to become a trucker, right?
Okay, start in the right direction.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna tell you like this, and I'm listening to the conversation, and you talking about traditional males and all that. I used to be in the streets real heavy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a shorter complected shorter brothers. I'm 5'7". You know what I'm saying? But my street lifestyle, and because I done took the chances at them particular times that I was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I kept a nice group of females. You know what I'm saying? Because I was living a different lifestyle. Even after listening to you, and after I said changed it up, me and my cousin, we came together, who I was also in the streets with. You know what I'm saying? We started our own trucking company. You see what I'm saying? And what we got even going on is we got contracts like with Amazon right now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying that to say I'm not like most of these particular brothers, with no disrespect to no brother. I'm a particular type of brother. You know what I'm saying? I done had wars. I done did all it, everything from A to Z. You know what I'm saying? I'm not bragging and I'm not talking tough. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't no tough cat, but I didn't live this particular lifestyle. So when it comes to certain women, I've always been able to get particular type of women because of the life that I was living. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, sure, I'm sure there's going to be a certain type of female that you'll have access to depending on what you're doing. The real question then becomes, number one, what is a female's place in your life? And number two, does she complement not where you are, but where you're going? Because the single most important decision that a woman makes is the man she chooses. The single most important decision that a man makes is his mission and his purpose in this world. The second most important decision is the quality of female he has with him.
Okay, can I speak? Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead, and then I got to move on.
All right. Oh, okay. So this is what I'm saying, though. Because I was living that certain lifestyle, I was attracting that particular type of attention. And I'm telling you that, like, if I tell you what my street name is, and if anybody in the city of St. Louis that know who I'm at, they know who I am. So I'm not even trying to even go that route with it. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that I learned a lot from listening to you. You know what I'm saying? And me listening to you, you know what I'm saying? Even dealing with these females, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went all the way left. I even got my little cousin out the streets right with me, who I done taught everything that he knew, everything that he knows about the streets. You know what I'm saying? I gave him that information and energy. Like, we was back to back, like on the wall. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, I'm listening to you talking to a lot of the brothers that's out here. You know what I'm saying? Women look for a particular type of man. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not willing to go all the way that extra mile, you know what I'm saying, that I have been willing to go, they not going to accept that. You know what I'm saying? I have been willing to live that. I live that life. I done that. You know what I'm saying? And now that I done transitioned all the way over, and like I say, I appreciate you because I didn't have nothing. That trucking shit, it didn't come to mind to me at all. You know what I'm saying? But me and my cousin, I brought that opportunity to my cousin, and now we you know what I'm saying? We both 6-figure earners in the game on this trucking shit. You know what I'm saying?
And that's important because when you show that you're focused, when you actually show that you're focused and that you can point your energies in a direction and you can actually make something bigger of it than what it is. You know, I always tell fellas, you know, chase your purpose, not women, because don't focus on chasing women. You attract women. Ironically enough, women are looking for a man who doesn't really care about women like that. Women are looking for a man who he's focused on his purpose, that because she's looking for a man who's found something bigger than a woman in his life. Women don't worship being a woman more than men do. Men are the biggest payers for it. We put a whole lot more value on it than women do.
Yes, sir.
She's looking for a man who focuses and has found something in his life that has a purpose that's bigger than a female, so that she can go along for the ride, so that she can see something bigger than herself. That's the real thing about it. Where most males mess up is they spend their lives trying to convince a female that she's the biggest thing. She's the biggest, grandest thing he's found, and let me go ahead and fall at her feet because I'm trying to convince her that she's the most important thing in the world. And contradictorily enough, they don't understand that that's actually a turnoff, because you cannot make a female the most important thing in your life and not submit to her. If she's the most important thing, by definition, you're submitting. And a female wants a man who cares about her and values her, but she does not want a man who submits to her. Now, that's what she doesn't want. I'm glad to hear that things are going well for your concern and everything. That's an important thing. Please check back with me in 90 days. I want to hear from you. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get called from Ear Code 346. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Chuck, calling from Texas.
All right, Chuck, from where at in Texas?
Calling from the Houston metro area.
All right, Chuck from Houston, what's on your mind?
Yeah, so great show, a lot of good material. I think a lot of good game. One I heard, I've been listening for a while, and I agree with a lot of what you were saying. One thing I noticed about a lot of dudes, as far as the relationship situation today, with that you mentioned earlier about people were talking about like passports and traveling and looking for traditional women. I would say that shit is over with. Like, going to me, I mean, I travel and stuff like that, and I think with the combination of like feminism and social media and the internet, things like that, I think people going to trying to leave America or the West or Europe or different places looking for, traditional women. I think that, traditional women and submissive women, whatever, I think that shit is a waste of time.
Well, it's a waste because the people looking are misguided. That's the reason it's a waste. It would be different if their motives were, for lack of a better term, pure or honorable. But you got folk who the motives are bad, the goals are bad. They're trying to get a free lunch and get something for nothing, and in the end, it can't turn out well. So all they really do is end up making up a bunch of lies and then coming back to other folk and trying to sell them on, oh, hey, look, I found it. Because here's the crazy part. If they actually had found it, they wouldn't be saying anything to anybody. That's how you know they haven't found it, because if they actually found it, they wouldn't be saying nothing to nobody.
I think, I would agree. I mean, a lot of times people, you find something good, you kind of want to keep it to yourself.
Well, I mean, take a look at Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was down there and laying up with everything in Central Florida. He didn't say nothing to nobody. He's not on the internet trying to defend, black men laying up with white women. He ain't never tried to do that. He's never engaged in that discussion. I don't think there's an interview about it. Tiger Woods just got a whole damn cell phone filled with dozens of them. And he just doing what he do. He's not talking to you. He's not talking to the other golfers. He's not on Instagram. He shows no pictures. He just do what he do. And what I'm saying is, there's your proof right there. That's what a person does when they've really found this treasure trove. They ain't saying nothing to you. They out there enjoying themselves and saying nothing to you. You know why? Because when you start yapping your mouth to people, that's what spoils things. That's what ruins it. So I know you don't have something valuable because you doing too damn much talking. Your first concern would be to make sure you protect it and safeguard it. If everybody knows where your hidden little secret is, it's not a secret anymore.
Right.
I'll let you have the last word.
No, I agree, bro. I agree. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna land my plane, though. Salute. Have a good night.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. All right, let me get caller from area code 813. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling
90
from?
seconds.
Hey, this is Jake from Tampa. Calling back.
All right, Jay. Jay from Tampa.
Yeah, you roasted me pretty good, man.
I didn't roast anything, sir.
Yeah, but it's fair game, man. But I just had a question.
Okay, did I?
So
hold on a second. Did I lie about anything? What did I say that was a lie?
No, you was accurate.
60 seconds.
All right, there you go. Wait a minute. Now, are you the Uber driver?
I'm the Uber driver.
Oh, there he was the Uber driver trying to hit on a girl from Cuba. And it was swing miss. We ain't hating on you. We ain't hating on you. What's on your mind?
It's all good. And yeah, so I got a new job. So I just got my first paycheck today, $4,000 IT. So thank you very much for the IT workshop.
You are welcome.
But I got a question.
Now he can go ahead and see if he can holler them down there at the cabaret as opposed to, in the Uber thing. So.
Right. Now I can go to Cuba.
We moving on up, man. We're moving on up like George and Weezy.
Oh yeah.
10 seconds.
So I got a new kind of problem though. So most of the people, at my company, like they're kind of mostly Caucasian, and they kind of say a little slick racial shit to me, and I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to handle it.
You don't.
Obviously, I'm new, but it's really trying to kind of like piss me off. Obviously, I listen to your other channels, so definitely try to stay on code as much as I can.
Yeah,
so
just understand something here.
Something like that.
As young black men, it's like dealing with the police during a traffic stop. They don't have a valid reason for messing with you, and they don't have the ability to stop you. So what they're trying to do is trick you into derailing yourself. So what they want you to do is to come to work for something other than to do your job. They want you to come to work for friendship. They want you to come to work for camaraderie. They want you to come to work for mutual respect. And that's not what you're there for. You're not there to make friends. You're not there to make buddies. As you can see, it's a fool's errand. You're not there for any of that. And they want you to focus on something other than your job so that they can trick you out of that, because if you sit up here and put them in their place, they've already shown you, they're all on code. So you do something and then they all get together. We don't know what happened with Jay. Just the angry Negro. I'm scared to be in the room with him now. It'll be that. All this time is them yapping in your face and whatnot. Will you sit up here and get in their face and get them straight, and they'll swear that you pulled a gun on them. I saw him for a few seconds. He looked like OJ. It'll be that. I saw him. He swelled up to like 2 feet taller than he really is. That's what they'll be saying. So as a black man in these places, understand they can recognize if you're not cooning, you're not effeminate. That's in their minds, that is a threat. Because if enough black men who ain't on the bull jive get together and rise up, it changes everything. So yes, what you know is, they are hyper focused. It took them 2 minutes to figure out what your deal was. Now all of a sudden we're on code, Let's see if we can agitate him. Let's see if we can provoke him. Let's see if we can trigger him. And then the second you do, Jay was in the back there. He was playing NWA and F the white folks music. That's what it is. That's what it'll be. So when you're by yourself with them or whatever, they're gonna be talking all that trash and whatnot. As soon as you sit them down, that's gonna be it. Now, for young black males, here's what I always recommend to you all. Number one, you make sure everything you do or say is documented. First and foremost. Everything needs to be documented. If you're having trouble out of somebody, you report that to your supervisor. You do not walk into his office and tell him. Understand? This goes for every single black person in here, but particularly the black men. You do not walk into these supervisors' offices and talk to them. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Your correspondence, your complaints, your everything is to be done by email. You make sure it is documented. We used to have a saying in telecommunications. When I worked at AT&T, if you didn't write it down, it didn't happen. That was a saying we used to have. If you didn't write it down, it didn't happen. Guess how many folks had bad experiences because they were going off of what they said, and well, I told you this, that, and the other. You don't tell them a damn thing. You do exactly like a court of law or the police. You document it. So the day you do got to come down on them like a hammer, you say, I contacted you on September 4th. I contact about this person and the details of the incident. I contacted you again October 17th. I contacted you again November. Because understand something, when they get ready to come after you, that's what they're going to do. They're going to do that. And that's when the light bulb goes off for us is, oh, they trying to write me up. Yeah, nobody's there arguing with you. They get ready to do something with you, they start writing things down. Your job is, if there is an issue that is that magnitude, and the other thing is, does your workplace have an employee guidebook?
I think so. I didn't read it.
Okay, well, you're screwing up already. Because the other thing is, you have to be like a lawyer. Your job is to show this is the rule that's being violated. This is what occurred, this is what happened, and this is what it says in the employee handbook. This is a violation of that. The employee handbook is showing you what you signed up for. So your job is to be able to document these events, document these incidents. You don't get into this isn't a contest of playing the dozens. This isn't about who's got a snappier comeback or who's got snappier insults or whatever. It's not about that. Because just understand, the first time you set one of them suspected white supremacists in their place and he looks bad, he's going to go to the supervisor. Yeah, Jay was talking about me. He said I got big ears and buck teeth and I feel different. All of a sudden, it's going to be that. All of a sudden, it's going to be that. I'm not telling you what somebody else told me. I'm telling you what I've lived. And that's the way it always is with us. Everybody sits up here and gets slick at the mouth. Everybody wants to get smart at the mouth with us as black males. Everybody wants to get slick at the mouth with us until we come from behind our desk. Then everything gets quiet. It's like, okay, now that I'm on this side of the desk, you mind saying that one more time? All of a sudden, the room gets quiet. Well, I'll be damned. Why wasn't it quiet when you were sitting at your desk? So this isn't a matter of whether or not you can dump them on their heads. They're trying to get you. They don't have the ability to fire you. They're not happy that you're there. They want you gone. They can't do it themselves. Well, how do we trick him and goad him into firing himself? How do we do that? Well, you know, black males are touchy and they're all about respect and they get triggered real easily. So let's try that one. And they never write anything down. Once you start showing them that you'll do that and you want to be real sneaky about it, tell your manager, I'm sending this to you here, but I don't want you to say anything right now. Now, that's one I used to use. I'm sending this to you, but I really don't want you to. You want to do anything about it? No, I just want to document this with you. I really don't want you to say anything right now. What happened later was the white women at the job started getting smart to what I was doing. Now, that's what changed. At first, when I was doing it, and I told them, yeah, I'm just documenting this with you here. I don't want you to do anything right now. I'm just documenting this with you. Don't say anything about it to them. Just that's it. Then they realized, it was only later when I started dropping the hammer on a couple of people, they realized what I had done. Like, I'll be damned. Right. He's given 6 months of documentation. Then he showed the handbook. He's got them by the throat. Then what they did in my case is they moved people. And it was only after that the white women in human resources, they started protecting people from that. So after that, when I started when I started documenting things, they started calling meetings after that. Now that's what they did after that with me. Once they realized what I was doing, it's like, oh hell, meeting. I'm like, oh, here we go again. Now, here's the other part of it. Eventually, them bastards got the message. Eventually, they got the damn point. Well, yes, I could dump you on your head. I could actually do it with one arm and do it very easily. But you see, I see what you're trying to do. So let me show you that I'm multi-talented. Because they're counting on us to treat the job the way we do the police. And I'm saying that that's not necessary. That's where you come to make your money. And what you do is you put folks on notice by the way I'm watching you. And watching you doesn't mean I talk to you. Watching you means if you do not leave me alone, I document when you didn't. I don't give a damn, and this is the way you have to be. I do not give a damn if I walk through that door and I don't speak to another human being from the second I clock in to the second I clock out. I'm cool with that. I don't know how many of you can say that, but I'm that nigga. I am perfectly fine walking in that building, clocking in, and not speaking to another human being till the second I walk out of there. I'm perfectly fine with that. I didn't come here to get a friend. I didn't come here for a buddy. The only person I need to talk to is my immediate supervisor. That's the only one I need to talk to. I don't need to talk to the rest of you. I don't need to come to the damn Christmas party. I don't need to come to no damn potluck. I don't need to go to the state fair with any of you. I don't want any of you at any of my personal events. If it ever turns out like that, that's great, that's cool, but that's not my goal. My goal is to get my pay and to get more of it 6 months from now than I get right now. That's what I'm here for. Human interaction ain't necessary. As a matter of fact, I think I'll get more done if I don't. But when we hired you, we asked you about teamwork. I think I can teamwork with you just fine in a room by myself. I think I can teamwork with you just fine by email or messenger. I think I can teamwork with you just fine. You'll be on top of everything. But what I don't need to do is sit up here and make a bunch of friends. I don't need to do that. Especially if y'all treacherous, I don't need that. So I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to show you. I can sit here and do this job all damn year and never speak to a one of you. Now that you become annoying, let me show you that you probably don't want to be speaking to me. But just understand that's the way that works. If you're a young black male, you show up somewhere, everybody's trying to figure out how to trigger you and aggravate you into putting yourself in a position where they can do something, because what they want is to get rid of you. But I need you to understand they actually can't do that. That's why they're trying to trick you into doing something that they can go after you for. Because they can't, somebody screwed around and hired you, and they can't actually undo that. Now they want you to undo it. And my job is to tell you, make yourself a hard target. You come into work, you go to your desk. Yeah, it feels a little adversarial. Here's the problem. They started, not you. And if something go wrong, you start documenting it. If you really need to, you got a cell phone, you just turn the camera on. By the way, the first time you catch that occurring, that'll be the last time any of them mess with you. The first time you get one and he don't realize he's sitting over there yapping at the lip too damn much and doesn't understand he's being recorded, the first time you bust him with that, that'll be the last time you ever have a problem with that job with anybody. That will be the last time. That'll be it. because human resources doesn't go off of testimony. Human resources goes off of documentation. Because now you're talking about state law, federal law, human resources. The folks on the floor, they want you to do something so egregious that it can bypass human resources filtering process. You sit up here and bring documentation, or God help them, you show them proof. Dude, that's it. Human resources can't do nothing but go off of that. Let me tell y'all right now, everybody in here, the cheat code is if you have a recording. You record that, human resources, for those of you who don't know, at your jobs, human resources works hand in hand with the legal department. You talk about the legal department or whoever your legal representative for your employer is, human resources talks to them. Because human resources are the people who brought you in and filed your paperwork and did the documentation and with the federal government and your W-2s and stuff. If you get fired, human resources is the one that has to process you out. But they have to make sure, by the way, I'm the person who finalizes that this person is no longer employed by us and no longer gets a paycheck. That is injury if it is not justified. That's injury. So when you talk about personal injury attorneys, that's why discrimination goes in that category. Well, they've been economically injured. So human resources needs to make sure, now before I take action, because I'm the one who can do something injurious, is this legitimate? Have we dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's before I hit this button and send them on their way? Because they can go for unemployment, they can file a lawsuit, discrimination. Are we good? Am I in the clear? Is everything straight before I do this? You all don't think about your human resources department that way, but that's what they actually are. So their job is to make sure that they're legally covered. Otherwise, we can't do this. You go walking in there and show them, hey, I'm here to show you a violation. Human resources must acknowledge it. Not it's a great idea, not it's cute and not wonderful, they must acknowledge it. Now, what they do about it may be something different, but what I'm saying is all the cards are on your side of the table. If you show that to them and they don't do anything, now they're just racking up liability. Which, by the way, I did against them when I was in corporate America. I would rack up liability against them and just hold it in my hip pocket. I might act on this, then again, I might not. There isn't a statute of limitations once I've documented it. There goes your statute of limitations once I document it. And if I ever leave here under circumstances I don't like, I can always go get a lawyer, and anything I said for the entire time I worked for you, I can bring it up now. Statute of limitations is in the outside world. It doesn't work that way with employment. I can sit here and show us, oh, you were doing this the whole time. Today is the day I decided to act on you. There is no law that says I have to act on this sooner. No, it doesn't. So, yeah, I'll do something about you now. And all that documentation I got, I'll do something about it now. So what I'm saying is I need you all to not be ostentatious. Don't be flipping the mouth. Do not make this an insults contest. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. You sit there, go to work, make sure you're the best singular employee you can be. You make sure that you are adhering by the handbook. And if somebody is on the outside of that, document. Now, let me ask you one more thing. What exactly is it? Give me a specific, what was the last incident you had with them specifically?
They wouldn't say anything directly to me, but when I come around, they'd be like, and they wait till I come around, they wouldn't be talking, they start talking. It'd be like, oh, George Floyd didn't actually get choked out. He was on drugs. He was up under the car. Or they'll be like, Martin Luther King, he was running whores. I heard somebody said he was a pimp. And they would always say it around me and look at me and, make it very clear that I'm the intended audience for their little slick comments.
Okay, you say they always say that around you. Now, you say you have an IT job?
Yeah.
Okay, how are they always around you like that?
Like when we go to the break room.
Okay, what's the lesson you just learned?
The yeah, you kind of lost me.
Okay, I'm sure you will. Don't worry, y'all. He's gonna have a chance to get another job here in a little bit because I don't think he can hold on to this one. Most people who were listening to me caught that. That bull crap you were doing in that car with that Latino, that's what you're doing here. You talk too much. You're trying to be too personable. You're trying to make friends. I had asked you about what it was that they were doing, and you said they came up to you, but that's not actually what's occurring. They're not coming up to you. You are giving them opportunities by you going up to them. What are you going to the break room for, sir?
Just like on lunch break, just going there on whatever lunch break comes, like whatever break I have.
Okay. Sir, when I used to work at those companies or whatever, if I did go to the break room, I had earphones. And if I did use a vending machine, I was only in there long enough to do that. I'm not in there long enough to socialize. That's the first thing.
Okay.
Now, if somebody else goes out of their way to do that stuff, I'm like, especially if it's predictable, dude, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to document all of that. There's no reason your cell phone shouldn't be recording all of that if it's happening on a regular basis. But my first thing is, these, as I said before, these are not your buddies, these are not your pals. Why are we giving them so much proximity, especially when they've already exposed that they are disciplinary problems?
Right. Okay. So, all right. So I definitely understand what you're saying. So I'll definitely
and nobody likes that. Nobody likes going to work and acknowledging a hostile environment and you have to keep to yourself. What I'm saying is I need you young men to understand where you are. In the world that you are in today, you're down there in Florida. Florida is a hotbed of anti-black racism, period. Governor Ron DeSantis, shout out. They're not even being coy about it anymore. And I'm from Louisiana. The most racist state in the union. And I'm telling you, Florida is fighting to be number 2. And winning, by the way. And winning. And I need you young black males, y'all sit around here all the time. You see some Latinas and you start getting confused. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, wouldn't this be great? Well, I suppose it would be great if you weren't living in a system of white supremacy. I suppose it would be. But you are. And that means you are a target. And a black man, I said at the beginning when I talked to Prince, what's the most valuable thing in the world? A young man with no wife, no kids, and all his possibilities in front of him. Well, that's where you are. And you trying to enjoy it too damn soon. You haven't even built it up yet. And they see that. And you're leaving yourself vulnerable. They don't mean you any good. And they're looking for you to be lonely. They're looking for you to want to make friends. They are depending on you not to be able to keep to yourself. That's what they're looking for. And what I'm telling you is a smart soldier, when the enemy shows you what they think your vulnerabilities are, your job is to pass that up quick, fast, in a hurry. So the problem you're having is being able to isolate yourself and still be able to do your job. Because here's the issue, and then I got to go. How many paychecks did you cash for your work in the break room?
None.
How many paychecks have you cashed for the quality of your conversations with your coworkers?
None at all.
I don't know how else to say it to you.
Okay. I definitely understand where you're getting at. I'll be more focused on business. And yeah, what you said is 100% correct. So, all right. I'll definitely make that adjustment.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight here. That requires a level of mental and emotional toughness. I understand that. It requires a level of mental and emotional toughness. And it can be hard to do that. By definition, human beings are social creatures. It can be hard to do that, but I need you to understand you're going to have to be tough enough for that. You are not one of them. You are in a war zone. As far as they are concerned, your success means less for them. That's the issue they have with it. You get a black man get his money right, he gets his direction right, he gets his paper right. All the other fellas are like, hey, we losing. So their goal becomes to keep you distracted, to keep you off balance. You're never supposed to focus in and zero in on building and getting yourself together. You're never supposed to do that. Because they know once you get zeroed in, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. So the goal becomes keeping you distracted. Keeping you focusing on things that don't make no money and don't have anything to do with you doing your job, because they do not want you to succeed, but they can't stop you themselves. That's when they start trying to get you to throw obstacles in your own way. Because if they can get you to do that, that's the trick bag. Well, he can't really handle isolating himself and whatnot. He always comes around, so eventually he'll give us an opening. First order of business, remove their openings. Well, Jason, what do I do if they come up to me talking to me about something there? You ask them, is there something you want? See, I get straight to the point of it right there. I'm not afraid to make an awkward situation. I'm not rude. I just keep it strictly business. Is there something I can help you with? You don't have to be rude about it. I don't see what was rude about that. Maybe you can tell me the rude part. Your tone of voice. I see nothing rude in my tone of voice, but you're welcome to document that. Well, you don't ever hang out with us there. Is there something you want to give me? Was there something you were wanting to give me? Well, since you're asking for my presence, is there something you're wanting to give me? And it's a shame. You should be able to just go to your job and just do your work, and you should be able to do that. But what I'm saying is you're assuming that they want to get along with you, and they don't. They want to derail you. And I'm saying, okay, when folks show their fangs, believe them. Yeah, I don't need to talk to you like that. I'm not looking for a buddy. I'm not looking for a friend. If it's not business related, I ain't really trying to do that. What I'm saying is to my black males, when you go to work, you are to be the biggest bookworm in the building. You don't do nothing but eat, drink, and sleep the business and the employee handbook, and that's it. When you go to work, that's all you there for. When it's time to get your raise, hey, you got to drop it off on account of the fact I'm the first one in, I'm the last one leaving, and I don't do nothing but my work, and that's it. But this idea that you going to work to get a girlfriend, to get a wife, to get some buddies, to get some folks to hang out with, look here, you go hang out with the folk you met on Facebook. You don't fool with them folk you work with. You don't fool with them. Especially when they start showing you that they're up to no good. You don't fool with them. You don't fool with them. And if some of them try to go above and beyond, it's like, okay, he ain't making it easy. Let me see if I can test the waters. I'm like, okay, you done suckered him on your side of the fence. He's come all the way over there. That's it. I got you. Now I got you. They're all sitting there laying in wait for you in the break room. And they got you in a trick bag. Your job is to sit at your desk and be ready. It's like, okay, here comes old racist Ron. Let me turn my cell phone camera on. Here comes old racist Ron. Like, okay, he didn't come all the way over here. That's it. I got the trap laid for you. I got the trap laid for you. I'm on you. That's it. I got the trap set. Here he comes. Hey, soul brother. You know, it's too bad. You know, Juneteenth is coming up here, you know, and I was just wondering who should make some watermelon t-shirts for Juneteenth. You like watermelon t-shirts? Now that's when I would get chatty. That's when I would get chatty. But remember, only ask questions, don't make statements. Only ask questions about what they said. Oh, you like some watermelon t-shirts? Okay. You think watermelon and Juneteenth go together? Well, I'm not saying they go together. I'm just saying, what do you think? I'm saying, I think you think Juneteenth and watermelon go together. You said they did. Are you offering? No, we're not really for that right there, you know. Do you realize how bad that got that quick? If I can get you to get out of your feelings and actually do some critical thinking in the moment and be like, hey, let me be self-aware of the moment I'm in. He's sitting over here talking all this craziness. This needs to be preserved. Instead of you trying to figure out a zinger to throw back at him, it's like, dude, I don't take cheap shots. I take kill shots. I don't take cheap shots. I take kill shots. You came over here. You in the shadow of death. You walked right into the spider's web. You right here. I got you where I want you. I got you where I want you. Right here. Main chick, I'm not really sure what you're referring to, but I'm not sure who you're asking to quit, but it better not be my people, so. No, I want you all to know how to navigate. I teach you all how to navigate minefields. If anything, they'll be the ones leaving, not you. But you got to know what you're dealing with. You can't wait until you've got 3 or 4 write-ups because they were messing with you, and then you're going to try to make your case in human resources. But they've been messing with me and making racial comments. Well, did you report any of them? Well, no, I mean, not really. That's not the way that works. You'll be sitting up here trying to preserve your manhood and this, that, and the other. It's like, okay, that's not the game we playing over here. They start doing that. It's like, oh, wait a minute, let me make sure I document that right quick. As soon as you see them coming in your direction, hit that camera on the sneak. Hit that camera, record on the sneak real quick. Boop. Y'all supposed to be experts at this point. Especially if you got a Samsung, you hit the camera, record, bam. There we go. Let them jawbone. Let them jawbone. Like, dude, can you say that one more time a little bit louder? Can you lean to the left a little bit and say that one more time a little bit louder? Can you do that? So that's the point I want you all to get to there. That's when you know you're on your business. That's when you know you're on your job. You didn't come there to make friends. You didn't come there to do none of that. It's like, oh, I got you right where I want you. I got you right here, right where I want you. And let me tell you, when you do that, that's the end of that. That's the end of that. But what they depend on is for you to be reactionary and volatile, and you gonna put them in their place because you've suffered so much systemic racism that you're there to shut them down. And I want you to understand how the art of war is really played. The art of war is not ego. The art of war is you get them before they get you. Okay, but don't give them ammunition to go at you with. Your job is to identify who the bad guys are. So when they make little slick comments, it's like, okay, you're supposed to be marking them. Okay, enemy 1, enemy 2. You catalog them. Enemy 3, enemy 4. Okay, those folks sitting there laughing with them. Enemy 5, 6, and 7. That's your job. The only thing in that interaction is to catalog who the enemies are. Now, if they decide to start going beyond that, it's like, okay, now that I know who I don't trust, which would be most of them, you don't trust anybody. But the ones you don't drop your guard around, okay, now I know who that is. Now we're going to start documenting them. That's where folks mess up at. And the other thing is, don't be emotional documenting them either. Don't say something the very first time you document them. Don't say something the very first time you document them. That's being emotional. What is best is to get at least 2 incidents. You get at least 2 incidents of somebody doing something, because remember, 1 time is an incident, twice is a trend, 3 times is a pattern. But if you can show at least 2 incidents, it's like, oh, I got a file on him. The other thing is, you do not say a word to the target. You're supposed to do like them. They come around, you sitting there, you're pleasant, you smiling. And meanwhile, it's like, nigga, I don't talk to you. I talk to human resources about you. Now, believe me, when you do drop the bomb on them, human resources are going to take them to the side. Hey, Bob, look here. Yeah, you better quit that watermelon stuff. Dude, how do I know you said it? I listened to you say it. What did he do? Man, he's been recording you all over the damn place. It's like Mission Impossible up in here monitoring you. He got you like the Big Brother house. Every time you say something, he right there on it. Really? What did he say? I have a car payment. What did he say? I have a mortgage. What did he tell you? It becomes that. It becomes that right there. All of a sudden, he's worrying about his mortgage and his child support and his car payment. All of a sudden, he worried about that. Like, okay, you wasn't worried about that mortgage before you heard yourself speaking. Now, all of a sudden, I need that. Oh, dude, this is awful. All of a sudden, everybody got some act right. But also, I'm warning you again, after you do that, watch for everybody else at the job to be backing up off of you. All the coons, the bootlicks and stuff is like, okay, you done put them on notice. I don't start trouble, but I damn sure end it. And other folks gonna start being worried when you let them know, by the way, I don't start trouble, but I'll damn sure end it. Don't believe me. Talk to anybody who's ever worked in human resources. They will tell you the exact same words I'm telling you. Main chick, a recording overrides I'm white and I say so. So no, you white and let me let you hear what you said. Is what you say right here. This is what you said. But what they're counting on is that you are not like that. They're counting on you having holes in the game. They're counting on you saying stupid things. They're counting on you not knowing when to be quiet. They're counting on you trying to out-talk them. They're counting on you pretending to be smart, not actually being smart. I'm saying don't pretend to be smart, actually be it. See, most people, when they got the cards and the chips stacked on their side of the table, they want to go take a victory lap because they've been eating so much crap for so long, or they feel they have, and their little emotional sensibilities have been impacted. Now they want to go, yeah, I'm going to show you. Man, look here. Your job is not to have a contest where you sit up here and brag about something. Your job is to win. And you win by letting people hang themselves. Which is what they're trying to do with Jay. They're trying to aggravate him so he hangs himself. In the chat room, clear, I've already given the instructions. Your job is to document these things. You can talk to your union representative, although in most cases they don't know more than you, but you can talk to your union representatives. But you must also assume that they're not going to do everything they need to also. Remember, you cannot be convicted of things you didn't say. That's why it's important that you not do a bunch of talking. You can't be punished for things you didn't say. They're trying to provoke you into saying something and doing something because they can't hang you with something you didn't do or didn't say. We got to get you to do something or say something. I'm telling you how to flip the script and get them to do things and say things. Now you go to your union representative with that. You go to your union representative with your emails. You go to your union representative with your documentation. You go to your union representative with your recordings if you got them. I'm showing you how to get that on your side. It's like, okay, that's what y'all trying to play. It's like, dude, I'm like Floyd Mayweather. I'm counterpunching. I'm outmaneuvering you. I just need to know which ones of you are after me. so I know when to turn that record button on. I just want to know who's after me so I know who to turn that record button on. On account of the fact my SD card is limited. But once I identify you, oh, Playboy, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's it. The last time you made a slick statement, that's the last time you go make a slick statement on account of the fact that, smile, nigga, you on candid camera. And after that, oh, believe me, I'm going to have the whole building quiet. It's going to be like a monastery in this son of a gun. The FedEx driver going to be like, did everybody take a vow of silence? Soon as I walk in the door, that's it. They start hushing. They was murmuring. You walk the door. Everybody. Crickets chirping. Crickets chirping. That's the way you handle that. But don't sit up here and go back and forth with people, and don't let them trick you into sitting up here having a conversation with them. Don't do that. These are not your buddies. These are not your pals, especially the ones who seem friendly, because you got those who come after you directly, and then you have those who don't. You got those who come after you directly, and then you got those who don't. You got those who will sit up here and come after you directly, and then you've got those who do not. The folks who sit up here and come after you openly, just remember, they'll be doing it, but then you have some other folk, they're too cowardly to come at you openly. They'll be sitting back, and they'll be the ones sitting up here talking about you to the folks. Once you start getting on them, yeah, did you see what Jay did there? That was wrong right there. This is what we get for letting those people around here like that. Well, don't worry. He thinks I'm good with him and everything, but, I just stay quiet. Y'all got to know there's layers to it. There are those who come at you overtly, then there are those who are coming at you covertly. They sitting around listening to hear if there's anything you say or do that they can use. They sit up here and try to listen in whether or not there's anything that you say or do that they can use against you. So y'all got to remember there's layers to it. The ones who are openly talking, and then the others who are their collaborators. And once you accept that there are open operatives and covert collaborators, now you've sealed up all your holes. But I'm also here to tell you that most everyone where you're at, it are the open collaborators or covert. Most of them. That's why when you come to work, you ain't said nothing. You sit at your desk, you're logged in on time, nobody can write you up for attendance. You're not striking up conversations with everybody. If folks are coming to you, it's like, okay, if you know it's a known troublemaker, as soon as you come over there, let me go ahead and flip this phone up right quick. Okay, anything he want to say, he can jawbone on now. Your job is to be focused on your paycheck, because here's the other thing. Once you have pacified the building and put everybody in their damn place and they understand you ain't to be flexed with, can you continue to do your job and operate at a high level with no interaction with any of your coworkers? Can you do that one? Can you still go to work, log in every day, have no interaction with your coworkers, and still operate at a high level? Can you do that one? Now, if you can, then all the advice I just gave you comes together and gets sewn up. But if you can't, it's going to fall apart. If you can't do that, just understand it will fall apart. I was doing a nice video here. I was doing a nice program here because I wanted to reiterate to you all here this idea of submission and traditional and all this old stuff right here. I want you to understand, folks were selling you a bill of goods for the longest time. that there was somebody else who was going to weigh in and was going to take care of that for you. Why, you're going to find some alternative, and what you're finding out now is they were all lying. It's the same thing everywhere you go. It's the same thing everywhere you go. So what is the takeaway from this? The takeaway from this is stop believing in nirvanas and Shangri-Las and paradises and utopias. Stop the garbage. Stop selling yourself something. Stop telling yourself you're going to find some Asian fly chick out in rural Manchuria. Stop listening to internet liars and bullcrap artists trying to sell you on that. Stop telling yourself that you're going to find some chick from some rural area in Bangkok somewhere who she knows how to twerk, but she's submissive. Start recognizing that if you want something, it's going to cost you something. And the more you want, the more it's going to cost. Your job is to make sure that no matter what happens, you are sitting in the driver's seat. That's your job. Listen, let me remind you one more time. Fresh didn't do anything wrong except perhaps impregnating this scallywag. And being stupid enough to think that women were different somewhere else. Other than that, he was doing fine right up until then. I said this last week. He was doing fine right up until then. Right up until then. Look at him. He's sitting over there with a whole group of females and whatnot. He was doing fine right up until then. He showed, as Michael Jai White said, he showed what happens when you're not ready for power. All you can do is self-destruct. He had all of them where he wanted them, but he wasn't ready for power. He's irresponsible. He doesn't know how to handle it. Now he has potentially, because once again, I said this before, he better get a paternity test. Because this chick right here, I don't trust her. I don't trust her. I don't necessarily believe her. He needs to get a paternity test because I would not be the least bit surprised if she wasn't game. I said that last week. He better get a paternity test. As eager as she is to sit up here and let dudes sit up here and run raw. No. I don't believe nothing else after that. I don't believe anything else after that. She gonna have to prove everything. Now, if it goes down the way she said it goes down, it's going down. But as far as mistakes, his mistake was telling himself that the grass was greener in China. That was the mistake. The mistake was telling himself you can find a chick she's going to be traditional Asian chick who's got some Western sensibilities. And that's the silly part. He was doing good right up until then. There is no utopia, fellas. It's not there. It's just a bunch of lying jackasses on the internet. There's no such thing. Whatever it is you want, there will be a cost. Whether it's America, Asia, Mars, doesn't matter where you are. If your feet hit ground and you talking to something with a pair of ovaries, there's going to be a cost. Deal with it. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. Got a few things here I want to discuss for tomorrow as well, so you are welcome to do that as well. I'm so busy right now, but I definitely want to put together another couple of workshops. Looking at doing something, maybe an advanced truckers workshop. I'm looking at doing something maybe along those lines. But I've got some other folk I want to get involved with before I do. So I'll be looking at that there. So expect some things coming up here as well. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program. Thank you for watching live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.